Oh, wow. That's strong. That's strong.
That's the way to start.
That's strong. I wasn't talking about my beverage. I'm talking about the wonderful result this past weekend of AC Milan over Inter Milan. Made my weekend complete. I would like to thank the Academy, the entire production staff. I would like to thank the team. I would like to thank Maestro Pioli for doing what he did to lift the spirits of millions and millions of Rossoneri around the world. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Gentlemen, I'm joined by the illustrious Jason Longshore.
What up?
The grandissimo, generalissimo Mr. John Nelson.
Yo.
And the giant amongst men, someone whose mere presence frightens both children and small animals alike. Jason, John, please welcome Jared _Smith.
What about it?
So, gentlemen, it was a fun weekend for me. It was a very fun weekend. I did not take it to social media because I don't engage in bants online anymore. I'm 40. I can't do that.
You're a man?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
It ain't true.
No, it's not. It's very far from being true. So, guys, your thoughts on the weekend, what stuck out to you? What are some things? Because I have my list, but what are some things that stuck out to you?
Let me get the silly stuff out of the way, the easy stuff, because I think we've got Jarrett ranting about Celtic at some point here in hour number one. We probably have a VAR/goalkeepers trying to poleaxe people discussion coming up.
Interesting.
John, you're going to get murdered if Jarrett sees that. And let's see. What else? Okay. Hour number 2 is going to be preview. So we got Champions League, we got Libertadores, we got Europa League, we got El Clasico next weekend. All kinds of madness. That's hour number 2. So, hour number 1, the review portion. Barcelona, Real Madrid, they both lost. First time they have lost on the same day without scoring since May 6th of 2000. Madness. Yeah. Barca loses 1-0 to Getafe.
20 years.
Yeah. Real Madrid loses 1-0 to newly promoted Cadiz. Real Sociedad is at the top of the table in Spain. They won 3-0 over Real Betis. France. Lille is unbeaten. They moved to the top of the table. They demolished Lyon 4-0 in the Northern Derby of France. There are all kinds of derbies. I forgot about the Northern Derby of France. That happened, and Lille moves into the top spot. England, you had teams with leads, and they blew them. That happened multiple times in England. Chelsea had a 2-0 lead, blew it. 3-2 lead, blew it. They drew 3-3. They've given up 9 goals in 5 games. Frankie.
Hold on. You mean that Atlanta's not the only teams that can blow leads? Atlanta's not the only place that this can happen?
It can happen in North London as well. Tottenham, 3-0 lead, and they had that at the 82nd minute, and they gave up 3 goals to West Ham. That happened.
3 goals, 3.
Yeah. Aston Villa is perfect. 2 teams on the European continent that are perfect. Aston Villa and Milan. Madness. It's true. It's going on. It's real. Gwen's very excited.
The most predictable thing of this year.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. All kinds of goals in England, and people are trying to figure out like exactly why. I mean, is it just down to the madness of coronavirus? Is it something else? The first 4 rounds leading into the weekend, 144 goals in 38 matches. That's an average of 3.79 per game. Never seen in 90 years in England. Then you add to it 2 3-3 draws and a 4-1 win for Manchester United, and 27 goals in 8 games. That was actually below the scoring rate. It's ridiculous. Goals aplenty in England. And your corruption down here news from the Czech Republic. The Czech FA dismissed its referee commission today, including their chairman, Josef Čovanič, 3 days after police raided the FA's headquarters and other locations around the country and charged 20 people with corruption. The Dutch-Czech FA chief, Roman Berber, was among the 20 people charged with match fixing last Friday. He resigned. Good, he resigned. He's in police custody. Berber was a former secret police agent, 66 years old. Very influential figure in Czech football. He delivered his resignation via his attorney shortly before an extraordinary session of the country's FA. The group's chairman, Martin Malik, said, "All of us who are active in Czech football, we let this happen. The situation which we are dealing with now is abnormal. It is an attack against the very essence of football. I cannot tell how big the impact will be." The local media in the Czech Republic are reporting that the focus of this match fixing, which is still alleged, was on the second and third tiers of Czech football, with a number of referees also under investigation. Welcome to the Czech Republic.
As someone who's operated numerous black markets around the world at various points in my life.
Oh, really?
There's one rule.
Don't get caught?
Pay off the cops. Pay off law enforcement. Anyone who can bust your operation, you pay them off. If you promise them, example, if you promise them $50, you pay them $75.
Of course.
You keep them happy. Hey,
Yes.
You know what? Got a little bit extra. It's coming to you, baby.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Clearly, somebody got a little greedy. And,
Allegedly.
I mean,
ended
they
up on
had
nothing.
a former secret police agent involved. You would think
you
he would
still
know
screwed
these
it up.
things.
You still screwed it up. Somebody was probably a little. Somebody was probably a little bit greedy, and so they kept a little bit extra. As the Black Hand and Godfather 2 said, I want just enough to wet my beak. No. Somebody got cut out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You got snapped
You
off.
can't do that. You end up on corruption down here. You can't do that. You have to pay your people off.
Uh-huh.
I'm just glad that it's corruption down here is not centered in Italy this week. I'm thrilled with that.
This week it is not. Italy has a seat at the table
Give it
for
time.
corruption down here on a regular basis. Today,
Yes.
it's the Czech Republic.
Today it's the Czech Republic. I'm okay. You know what? I hope the Czech Republic sorts their issues. I hope that back in good standing. And I am thrilled and delighted that the justice system was able to overcome this dark chapter in Czech football history. Is that good enough for the legal statement? Did we cover our bases on
I
that?
think so. I think that's good.
Okay. All right, good.
And Nicholas Bentner didn't really do anything interesting in the last week, so we've covered Bentner down here for today.
Oh,
Oh,
darn.
thank God.
So, Nick, how you feel about Milan?
Hey, you know what? I feel really good. I was watching the game, and I have reached a point in my life where I no longer just try to dunk on people, because I find that when I try to dunk on people online, the dark forces come together and proceed to reverse the result. So I don't do that anymore.
The karmic intent.
Yes. And so I sat there and I quietly watched the game. I thought Zlatan won physically. You could see dark circles under his eyes. You could see that he was pretty pale. You could tell that the coronavirus did a number on him. I don't care what he posts on social media. Physically in the face, you could see that there was a tremendous amount of wear and tear on this man. But he gutted through, and he showed up and showed out, and you can't deny it anymore. And there were some people who, Zlatan posted the picture of the bloody lion, and they thought it said fame. It was actually fame, and he was like hunger. I mean, he was hungry to return. He showed yet again that you can hate the man all you want, but he is the Ric Flair of soccer. He is the man. To be the man, you got to beat the man. He will stunt all over you if you give him the chance. I have concerns about Milan without him now. That's how important he is to this side. From a leadership standpoint, I can't believe I'm saying this. From a leadership standpoint, you're always in the game with him because he has that ability. He's a walking nuclear weapon. Like the ball reaches his foot, he can score. And the penalty where it was, the keeper guessed the right way, but Zlatan, because he's so savvy, because he's so skilled, slotted home the shot, and Milan's rolling. Milan did everything they had to do in this game. The fact that Tonali didn't even really feature in it shows you where this team is right now. The fact that their most prized prospect player, the star of the transfer window, didn't really feature, and you're okay with that. But as much depth as there is everywhere else on the field, I do have concerns about Milan at the striker position. Ante Rebic, when he comes back, will obviously add to that. Let's not get it twisted. This is an Inter side that was depleted because of the coronavirus. They had an outbreak. They had players that were missing. We can't get it's hard to dunk on a team when they're going through that because it's not just you're missing the players, but there's also now that idea in the back of your mind, like, okay, who else has coronavirus? Now it's a thing, and it's a distraction. So you can't walk away from that. That's part of the show. And so I can't really, in all honesty, dunk on Inter in this. I'm going to take the win, and I'm going to be thrilled by it. And I'm double thrilled that let me check the standings. Let me check the standings. Ah, yes, at the top of the standings. I'm going to enjoy this right now. I'm going to screenshot it because I don't know how long it's going to last.
I am in a very, very, very good mood.
It has been. It has been.
Now, a question from the floor, Nick.
Oh, yes.
Bernd Dursberger asks, weren't you mad that Milan signed Zlatan?
I was, yes. Here's the thing. There are a lot of hey, I don't mind. There's a difference between this and about 97% of other shows is that we own our stuff here. And if we have a take and we put it out there, we own it. And that's part of it, and that's something that annoys me about other sports shows is that the host was like, well, what I really meant by this is that if this player, his performance coincides with the X factor of Venus and the humidity at 74%, like they give these long-winded Gettysburg addresses as to why they were really right, even though they were wrong. I was wrong about Zlatan. I saw a guy who couldn't drag the LA Galaxy to an MLS Cup, even though he promised that. He made calls. He showed up on Jimmy Kimmel. He did all this stuff, talked about all these great things he was going to do, didn't come through. And I said, look, this guy's way too old. There's no way in the world he's going to be able to perform at the same level as he has in previous years. Milan should not be signing him. We should be going with youth. I was on board for the Ralph Rangnick transition. If you were privy to our production thread, you would know that I was putting press in like all caps, 47 characters.
A lot of S's.
We needed a youth revolution, and I could not be more happy and thrilled to be wrong. And that's something you're not going to hear a lot of sports people say. I was wrong, and I love it. I am loving every minute of being wrong. I am one with the wrongness. Give it to me. There's an inbound transfer. The transfer has been accepted. The pass is complete. The wrongness has been put on me.
So
I'll own it. I don't care. I
how
love it.
much joy should we get right now that there are 4 teams above Juve in the table?
Oh, it's a thrill. It's a delight. But Juve is like Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th movies. You throw the axe at Jason, Jason comes back. You blast him with a shotgun, Jason comes back. You kick him out the barn, he lands on the spikes, Jason comes back. No matter what you do, Juve has too much quality. They have I'm convinced that Pirlo is he's the guy who needs to lead them through this period, even if he doesn't win the Scudetto. He needs to be the change agent at Juve. Because he has enough cachet, he has enough of an investment in him that he can make changes. He can weed out some of the old guard and make the change necessary for Juve to have a slight dip in form and return to their greatness. I'm convinced he's the right man for the job, but they will get back up to the top one or two in the table. There's just too much talent on that side. But this is a weird year, as we're seeing in the Premier League with all the goals that are being scored. Milan proving that you just sometimes have to go the distance to win. Sometimes, in this weird, very, very shortened off season, crazy things can happen. If you have a team that's not traditionally been great, this is your year that you can hope, and maybe you can dream a little bit. Even you Spurs fans out there, maybe
That ain't true.
but this is the year that you can buy in a little bit more, maybe more than before. Because you have, let's say you're a La Liga fan, and you're a fan of someone besides Real Madrid and Barcelona. Barcelona's talking about shaving salaries 30% across the board. That's been rejected.
Oh, no, it's been rejected by another Burofax. The Burofax is back. It's the most exciting development of 2020, learning what the Burofax is and hitting Barcelona with multiple Burofaxes.
That's right. Burofax is undefeated. But this is
wonderful.
This is your year. This is where, Real Madrid's offloading talent. No matter how much they played, you're still losing talent. There's something there.
They're reloading.
Well, no, they always reload.
But they are reloading specifically for something in the summer of 2021.
Yeah, right.
And his name is Mbappe.
And I hope it happens. Get that man, put him in position to win something besides Ligue 1. But, let's look at Milan. Milan, we were a disaster for over a decade.
Yeah, there's that, Jarrett.
What was that, Jarrett?
World Cup.
I mean, it also has a World Cup.
Right.
France.
I mean, it could be worse, but it could also be a lot better. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Well, I'm thrilled that Mbappe has that. Because he's the kid's quality. You can't get around it. I mean, he's absolutely amazing. He needs to get out of PSG, though. I don't think that's the right spot for him at all. I really don't. So if he can go to Real Madrid and succeed at that, at the highest end of the club side of the business, I'm okay with that. But Milan was a disaster for over 10 years. We were just
years.
We were a nightmare. And so I'm going to enjoy this moment while I can, keeping in mind that there's a tremendous amount of skill just below us that's waiting to be unleashed. And we're getting into the European side of the game, which means you have Europa League, Champions League, teams they're already thin because of losses with COVID, or you have injuries, players are burned out. It's only going to magnify at this point. So if you're up right now, enjoy it. But if this is that time when a Rocky could appear, and your favorite team might just find their way to the top of the table.
All right, three quick hitters on Italy, Nick. KFC asks about Sassuolo. Are they going to stay top four or top half?
Top half.
You think top half?
That's top half. Yeah, I don't. Sassuolo, they have the ability. I think Caputo is somebody who is just a dynamic talent. They have the ability to hang up in the top four. With Atalanta getting drilled this weekend.
That they did.
Napoli, I think, may have shown the way on how to beat them, which is you just have to skip the lines. You can't give the ball to Atalanta's midfield. Every time that Napoli went over that midfield, it was a chance on goal. And you had Chucky out there. Chucky, who was in Gattuso's doghouse. And Chucky has proven that with Gattuso, it's all about drive and desire. If you show drive and desire, he's going to put you in the lineup, and he's going to give you a chance to succeed. If he does not see drive and desire from you, your butt's going to the bench or out, and he doesn't care. So, but he's also proven that he's not the caveman manager that a lot of people thought he was, and he's figuring things out. And he may have just shown the rest of Serie A how to beat Atalanta, because he played physical with them in the beginning, knocking them around. The ref, and if you hate pro in MLS, boy howdy, that official in the Napoli Atalanta game gave him all a run for the money, because he was
Are there
terrible.
things that make you angry?
Just make you angry. But if you play physical early on with Atalanta, you skip the midfield, go long, play a little boom ball with them. The defense is not that great. You can slot past, build up an early lead, you'll be all right. So when it comes to the standings, I think that proves to me that there's a little bit of vulnerability there. Sassuolo, if they can keep up scoring goals at the way they are, they can get there. But Atalanta's a little sketchy for me. Napoli is, if they can stay healthy, they're going to be a contender for top 4. Juve, I think they're going to be up there. Inter, to me, is the biggest question mark. I had them picked to win the Scudetto this year. I am not seeing anything from them that tells me that they are going to be – I mean, there's a lot of work for Antonio Conte here. You have Lukaku, who's amazing. I mean, he's a weapon. He can score at will. I mean, obviously, you have Lautaro Martinez, who is wrecking himself, but that midfield and that defense needs serious help. And maybe they gave away a little too much. Maybe, in dropping some of the talent that they did in this short off season, they diminished themselves. And I don't know. They're a little concerning to me, but I think Sassuolo will be knocking on the door, probably around the 5 or 6 spot in the table before it's all over with. They have the ability, but can they sustain it? That's my challenge with Sassuolo.
All right.
Short story long.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 2 Zlatan questions, and you get to kind of hit them both in one. Burned says, I think Zlatan's a very smart guy. Realize he doesn't need to run so much in Serie A, so he goes there. His other strengths, the height, the finishing smarts, also play better in Serie A than in MLS. Michael Ruiz asks, how much influence or impact do you think Zlatan doing well in Serie A brings to MLS? Is the attitude towards MLS maybe a little different from Italy or from Europe based on what Zlatan's doing?
I don't know if Zlatan's success in Milan is going to showcase that much about the strength of MLS. I will say that I think that so far the failure of Matuidi and Higuain to just be absolute showstoppers in the league has said far more about the challenging nature of MLS than the problems with Zlatan. Zlatan did everything he could for that LA Galaxy side, and just there was not enough talent around him to make the grade. But for him to go and jump to Serie A and resurrect that Milan side, it says enough about MLS. But if you are an aging player in Europe right now, and I guarantee you your agent is looking at Matuidi and the Hamburglar and going, wait a minute, this might not be for you. Let's try to find a spot in China with a team that has not quite met its international player threshold yet. Get you some good cash and ball
Saudi Arabia. They're signing everybody.
Or Saudi Arabia or Japan.
There's actually a new rumor out there that.
Caveat to that.
Go ahead, Jared, real quick.
So I don't necessarily – I think you're right. You can't just look at MLS and say, I'm going to go to MLS and play now. It's gotten to the point where if you go to MLS, your agent and you both need to take a look at what each individual MLS team is doing, because there are different guys who would fit in different systems based on the team in MLS. But, like, for one thing, you're not going to put Zlatan at Red Bulls, for instance.
Right.
With all that running. I think you can I think a lot of different guys can play in MLS, but the days of I'm just going to go to MLS to whoever gives me the most money are done. It's going to be I'm going to go to the team that's going to fit me. Otherwise, I'm going to end up, embarrassing myself.
Here's my take.
Right.
if you were a Serie A team that struggled to defend Gonzalo Higuain last year, you should probably be calling about Miles Robinson. What did Higuain
Hell,
really
call that Anton
do?
Walks.
Same. But, I mean, Miles was all over Higuain. It's not about, like, two good players on a team. I'm talking about what Miles did to Gonzalo Higuain. He got him so mad that a game later, Higuain gets sent off after the game because he's still fuming. I mean,
Right.
it's insane. Like, Miles shut him down, and you could tell Miles was up for it too. But that's the thing that I think we're going to start to see more of. That I take more of that than the Zlatan going to Serie A and doing well in terms of boosting MLS's profile. It's Higuain coming here and not dominating and actually being kind of shut down by an American center back who is probably not known in Italy at all, who shut Higuain down.
We're not talking about someone who came up through Torino's system or someone who came up through the Milan Academy. You're talking about a kid who went to Syracuse, right? Mm-hmm. You're talking about a kid who went to Syracuse shutting down Gonzalo Higuain. Come on.
I don't know. You tell them Syracuse, they might look at you kind of excited for a minute till you explain.
Sure.
That's true. They'd be like, Syracuse?
No. Jim Boeheim version.
Hey, all I'm saying is we saw Rossi hold out on coming to MLS for years because I'm going to make it in Europe, and when I'm ready, I'll go to MLS. He's played in 7 games? He has 1 goal. He hasn't he missed the past couple of games from injury?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have these players that hold out, and they think that it's like the MLS of the David Beckham days, and they come here and they get ran. So, I appreciate the fact that the Hamburglar and Matuidi wanted to come here and party on South Beach, but this is not a league where you can come to an ideal location like Miami and then just handle your business by just being you. You have to show up. You have to prepare. You have to be game day fit. I don't know what to tell you from outside of that, except for don't come here thinking you're fighting tomato cans. You're going to come here and you're going to get one put across your face if you're not paying attention. And that's exactly what happened with Gonzalo Higuain. I mean, you let Miles Robinson boss you. So people here can play. And I have never found myself in the position of defending MLS players or defending the league. I will do that now. People here can ball. And ignore the refs are a disaster zone. I blame a lot of that on the Saturday morning soccer parents who refuse to let these referees develop and make calls that need to be called because they're afraid that little Timmy's daddy's going to come jumping off the line after his 3rd whiskey sour at 10 a.m. and pop him in the face. We have to be able to develop referees in this country, and we're not doing that. But the players are learning at an early age how to do cool stuff and how to take chances and how to possess the ball and different styles of play. I was at ODP. So Jackie Fresh did ODP tryouts Friday night and Sunday night. And when I was up there, I was watching the kids play. And both on the boys and girls side, there were some ballers. The moment you walk up, you look and go, that one, that one, that one. People who anybody would select and say, you can come into my training program right now. You're really good. And I think people in Europe don't see that. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see anything that could potentially show a future where the United States has a team on the field that can show up like the 92 Dream Team. They don't want to see that on the soccer side. They already see it in basketball. They don't want to see it on the field. But kids here can ball. And if you're an Higuain or a future Matuidi, you better damn well get your game face on if you're going to come here and play because these boys are going to knock you.
All right, we got to get into England because there's a few things to talk about. No, it's all good. But we got some stuff. Basics in England, before it gets lost in the shuffle, because we got a knee injury and VAR and stupid stuff to talk about. Vivian Miedema of Arsenal became the all-time leading scorer in the FA Women's Super League. Got up to 52 goals in 50 games. Arsenal won huge, 6-1 hammering of Tottenham. It was not a good weekend for Tottenham. Sorry, Spurs fans. I apologize. She scored in the 7th minute. She broke the record. She added 2 more before halftime. Arsenal won their 5th in 5. They are a team to watch in the Women's Super League. I know everybody's talking Manchester City because of Lavelle and Mewis. Everybody's looking at Spurs because of Alex Morgan. She's had a knock. She hasn't been able to get back on the field yet. I think she's a couple weeks away now. They thought she might be able to play in this one, but she's a couple weeks away. Everybody's looking at Manchester United with Tobin Heath and Kristen Press scoring goals. Arsenal and Vivian Miedema, they are the business right now. So on that side, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with goalkeeper challenges? Do you want to start with VAR in general with that match with Liverpool and Everton? Or do you want to start with Sergio Aguero and his buffoonery?
Let's start with Sergio Aguero because I have thoughts on that.
Yeah, I said this morning on what Aguero did. First, I'm disappointed in Pep for trying to dismiss it the way he did. I was very disappointed for him to not say that he thought it was the wrong thing to do. It's a tricky situation because you don't want it to be different that it is a female AR. In the long run, you want them to be treated the same way as any other AR. You don't want it to be different. I think that's part of this conversation. I don't know how much it should be. Maybe because it's the first time we've seen this type of situation happen. Sergio Aguero should be suspended for putting his hands on any AR, period. It shouldn't be more punishment because it's a female. It shouldn't be different punishment. It should be something that is punished all the time. But there is an issue with him thinking that he could do that because it's a female AR. I don't think he would have done that with a male AR. But it needs to be punished, and it needs to be punished severely by the FA.
Yep. No,
John, jump in.
No, I'm absolutely right there with you. I think that whatever the standard punishment is for putting your hands on an official, that's what Sergio Aguero needs. I was disappointed by what Pep said. Nice guy, don't care. Doesn't matter. That does not apply in this situation. Don't care if it was unintentional. Don't care if he's being a nice guy. You don't do it. And I know it's being amplified with the context of the situation. But no, I want to see a suspension, and I want to see just in line with putting your hands on an official. What is the standard stock suspension there? That's what he gets.
Mm-hmm. If that was a 47-year-old man on the sideline and Aguero went and put his hand on the back of that man's neck like that, I would want him to be suspended. You don't touch the officials. Mm-mm. You don't. If you, outside of the handshake at the beginning of the match, outside of that, you don't touch the official. It sets a bad precedent in general. That it was a female ref. To me, that I'm not going to get in Sergio's head and try to figure out what he was thinking. I don't care what culture you come from. I don't care where you're at. If you put your hands on an official, you should be red carded and you should be suspended. Done. Finito. Pep Guardiola, as we saw in the Amazon series, The All or Nothing, he said, to the press, I will defend you to the end of my days. But in here, we tell the truth. I'm sorry, but there's exceptions to that. Pep should have come out and been like, that was a stupid moment from Sergio. I'm not going to defend it. The team's not going to defend it. Sergio has to be better than that. We will have internal conversations with that, and we will get it sorted. And whatever the FA decides, what the FA decides. That should have been what he said. The end.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I apologize on behalf of Manchester City. That's not how our players are going to behave themselves.
They have decided, and there will be no retrospective action. TalkSport had this. He put his hand on assistant referee Massey Ellis. Touching a match official is usually punished by a yellow card unless the physical approach is deemed aggressive, in which the player will be shown a red card. Aguero avoided any punishment during the match. Understood he will not face any retrospective action. And then Pep's thing about Aguero being a nice guy and one of the nicest people he's met, that doesn't apply. That has nothing to do with it. That's silly.
You could give Christmas presents to orphans. You can feed the homeless and the hungry, all that stuff. But that doesn't mean that you are infallible. It doesn't mean that you should not be punished for mistakes that you make.
The FA needs to change this. The FA Premier League, whatever,
Yes.
Wherever the rule falls, because it should be more than a yellow for even doing it, period. It wasn't in an aggressive way. I agree with that.
Yeah.
It was in a demeaning way.
Right.
And that's the thing about it, is that it's in a, like, I don't take you seriously way.
Right.
And that should be punished with a suspension, or at least a massive fine. The FA has to draw a thicker line here, because you're opening up a door. Now, that door has not been kicked in yet, but go look at a website or a Twitter account called Ref Support UK if you want to see some of the things that happen at the grassroots level. That's why this needs to be cracked down on, because you don't need some hothead in the pub league who thinks, okay, well, yeah, I can do that and put my arm on the AR, and the AR says, get your arm off of me, or I'm gonna throw you out, and then that player turns and punches him or kicks him or whatever. You've got referees being assaulted in England on a fairly regular basis, sadly, and it's got to stop. Like, it happens here more often than it should. It shouldn't ever happen. I've been involved on multiple referee assault situations that were beyond just a very basic, like kicking a referee's bag, like not even actually assaulting them, but that is considered referee assault for kicking their property. I'll put that in a different category. There needs to be a very, very strong line drawn on anything with referees in this way. Not because Sergio Aguero is going to smack a referee. No, he's not. He's not that stupid. But because some plonker in the 7th division is going to see this, and he's going to start something, and you're going to have it get worse. That's the problem.
Yep. Because if you reverse it and you bring the hammer on Sergio Aguero, when that plonker does do it and gets nuked out of the league, you can say, look, we treat you, 7th division English football player, the exact same way we treat Sergio Aguero. So don't tell us that there's any kind of, issue with someone who makes a ton of cash versus someone who's doing it for a pub league. That's it keeps bringing me back to, and we have to bring, because gender is a part of this. We have. You think if that's a 47-year-old man that Sergio Aguero is putting his hand on the back of the neck? Like, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
And so, even if it was like a 17-year-old kid, like a boy on the sideline doing that, and you put your hand, I don't care where you're from. If you put your hand on the back of someone's neck like that, you're saying, listen up, kid, I'm going to teach you something. You're showing that you are above that person. Like, anytime somebody put their hand on the back of my neck, you better be an authority figure of of tremendous respect, or you're getting your face caved in. That's one of the two. If you put your hand on the back of my neck like that and we're peer level and you're not joking or having fun, it's a problem. And in a professional situation, you don't put your hands on anyone like that. I don't care what how passionate you get and, well, I feel things differently. I don't give a damn. There are things in life you don't do in a professional situation, and that's one of them. You don't put your hands on somebody in a demeaning way unless you want your teeth caved in.
Yeah, J-Dub Parker says, I think Pep missed the ball on reacting to this incident and the Bernardo Silva incident. Between the two, it adds up to him defending his players in the wrong way. And it adds up to me losing some respect for him, because he's somebody who has typically in his career talked about doing things the right way and with integrity and with honor. If he wants to be honorable here, he pulls Sergio Aguero out of the next match to make the point, because it needs to be made.
That's right. And that's what should be done. Is that now, and it's like I said a moment ago, when Pep tells his players, I will defend you to my last in front of the media, it's bigger than just being in front of the media. You have to set an example to your players that, okay, people think that we at Man City skirt the rules with the way we acquire players, the way we do our business. This means that we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard generally. On the field, off the field, Man City players have to be held to a different level of accountability.
You can't give anybody else another opening.
Right.
Yep.
We can't open ourselves up to be hit because we're being stupid. So, Sergio, love you like you're one of my kids, but you're sitting on the bench this next game. Can't touch the refs, my guy. It's not happening like that.
All right.
And so, take a seat. You're not even dressing them.
Yeah, that's
me.
exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of time, and we probably are going to need all of it for Liverpool and Everton. This thing was pretty much madness. Pulsating 2-2 draw. But Virgil van Dijk out for a long period of time after a horrendous tackle. And there's debate back and forth, depending on who you talk to, about how that situation was handled. Was it looked at by the VAR? Did they handle it properly? How did everything go with that? You have the Richarlison tackle that was horrendous as well. That was a red card. You had a goal called back by VAR due to a very narrow offside decision. You had a very narrow offside decision on the incident that led to the Virgil van Dijk injury. This thing was wild. I guess Everton's happy with the result. They kind of have to be, but is anybody else happy about how this thing went down?
No.
It's just...
I'm not a Liverpool fan at all.
Plucky upstarts.
Plucky upstarts. Funded by a billionaire, but that's all right. I will say that I don't think Pickford needs to be suspended for as long as Virgil van Dijk is out.
No, that's a silly argument. I'm sorry. That's just not how these things
I'm not
work.
going that far with it.
No.
Do I think he needs to be suspended? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
It should be a retroactive red, and it looks like he's going to get nothing.
Yeah.
Right. But, Virgil van Dijk even said, look, it's football. There's a challenge, I mean, sometimes these things happen. It happened in a derby, so now obviously it's magnified, and injuries to star players get, put on repeat and blasted all over social media, and I'm sure Pickford's getting God knows what kind of messaging right now.
He's going to get lit up.
Well, no, he is, and that is going on. Oh, man, I had that one. There are investigations of online abuse and threats being made towards both Richarlison and Pickford.
Right. It's hard because it is a derby, so I have to make sure I measure my words carefully here. I would say that for Pickford, there should be a suspension.
Mm-hmm. It should have been a red card. I mean, it should have been a red card. He should miss a game. That's it.
Absolutely.
Rope says, as an Everton fan, disappointed.
More than 3 games.
Rope says minimum 3 games. Even that feels a little harsh to me. But I don't know the Premier League statutes on a direct red for a tackle like that. If that's the typical suspension for that kind of a red card, fine. That's what it should be.
Right.
It's not anything more than that. I mean, he didn't punch him, off the ball in a cheap shot. I mean, he went in for a bad tackle. It's a really bad tackle.
Right.
It's a red card.
Yep.
Red card, 3-game suspension. And I would if somebody did that to Zlatan, and it was in the game, I would be angry. I would be furious. And if Serie A came back and said, "Look, it's a 3-game suspension," I'd be like, "Fine." I wouldn't be happy about that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't bring Van Dijk back any faster.
No, but you figured that was just at the time. You figured that was a just result.
Right. But at the same time, I can't get down with the idea that you're going to suspend, Pickford or Richarlison for more than 3 games. I just can't get down with that. It's not like there was the flying Bruce Lee cross kick to the sternum or to the forehead. It's not, somebody didn't get punched. Yes, Van Dijk's going to be out for a long time. He's going to miss the Euros. That sucks for Frank de Boer. It sucks for Liverpool, but it's a game that involves tackling and sliding at people's legs. Horrific injuries will happen. It happens in contact sports, whether we like it or not. It sucks and it's terrible. But 3 games, retroactive red card for Pickford, and we try to move on.
Yeah, I mean, multiple people have said it. Who was it for ESPN FC who said it? Ragamuffin. Who was it who said that? I think you were referencing it. It's just a little. It's a little over the top. It should be whatever the typical suspension is for a red card. There, it's that simple. Let's get into the VAR side of it. I mean, we're back to the same discussions about the offside rule, and there hasn't been any clarity yet here. The way that England uses technology, Julian Lawrence, thank you, Ragamuffin, thank you. I couldn't remember the name. VAR changes the way the offside rule is, I think, interpreted league to league. England uses the Hawkeye system. It's not just, I can draw lines like a telestrator on the screen. It's not that. They actually measure the pitch from the cameras down to the field, and they do everything to do this.
Draw the line.
Yes.
Your X, Y's, and Z's.
Yes, they do all of that. It's a big, long process, and it's very accurate. Is it 100% accurate? No, I don't know what would be. I think sometimes that becomes a little bit of a silly argument to me about, well, it's within a 5 millimeter margin of error. Well, what would your margin of error be with the naked eye? A whole lot more than that. I mean, it's far more accurate than it was before VAR. But it's different than in some other leagues where they don't use the Hawkeye system. Now, in these, both of the incidents were offside, according to the law and according especially to the new handball rule, which is something that can get lost in the mix here. The new handball rule allows you, not the armpit, Ragamuffin, it's the arm, like the middle of the arm as opposed to here.
Like the sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, they say the sleeve, but I mean, people wear different length sleeves, so like really where are we going to measure it? It's in this region. So before, you would have, if your arm's out, you would have been offside here. Now you're offside a little bit further away. And that's what came into play on both of these. The way the handball rule was previously, they would have been onside. The way the handball rule is now, because it is a playable body part, they are offside. Mm-hmm. We're getting into some levels of ridiculousness here. And that's when you have the technology to definitively say, as much as you actually can, offside or onside. Now you're getting down to that level of detail. I don't think that was the spirit of the law. I don't think that was the way it was written back in the 18 whatevers. And I don't think that was the way it was interpreted for years and years and years. I mean, I remember the big change to even is on. That was the new phrase was even is on. Even is on.
Even's on.
We're giving the attacker the benefit of the doubt. Okay, what does that really mean? I mean, it's you can't see it that fast. You can have a good educated guess, but you can't see. So now, Ragamuffin says, when you're as slow as me, aerodynamics mean nothing. That is true.
I can relate.
The problem is now I really feel like FIFA, IFAB need to get in a room with the major leagues in the world because they're the ones where this is going to come down to the big dollars and cents. They do need to have a voice at the table, not just the Premier League, who then doesn't even follow what IFAB wants them to do anyway. They need to get in the room and say, look, we have something new that has changed the way the game is being called. Is this what we want? Or do we need to rewrite the law? Because you're not going to take back VAR. You're not going to not have VAR because the offside rule is applied in different ways now. You need to write the law to match the level of detail that we now have. I don't know what that is. I truly don't. Is it if you have any body part that is onside, you are on, or any body part that is now onside, you're on? Does it change where the line is? Because there's still going to be a line. There's always going to be a line. I don't know what the fix is. I don't know if there is one, because you're going to come down to this level of detail regardless, but I think people are yelling about VAR, and it's not VAR. It's the way the spirit of the offside law has changed because of VAR.
Yeah.
VAR is a system of cameras and monitors and a person watching it who interprets the laws of the game based upon the replay he or she is seeing. The video cameras and the monitors and Hawkeye system even have nothing to do with this. To your point, it is only about how the rules are being interpreted, and there needs to be clarification on this. And there needs to be a unifying of the parties to say, look, this is what we're going to go with. However, from what it seems, either everyone's going to get on the Premier League's standard, or everyone's going to have to get on the rest of Europe standard. I don't know what the answer is, to be honest with you. I would love to give you a BS answer about what I think it is. I honestly don't know, because the rules were not built for athletes of this caliber. The rules were built where you had groups of normal humans who were being chased by another human of roughly equal fitness level, who could interpret whether the rules were being followed and probably do so with some ease. Now you have like lower equivalent Greek gods running on the field who are all like Olympic level fitness and can outrun anyone over any length of period of time. There's no way these refs can keep up. You have to employ some sort of technology to keep it remotely level, which means if you incorporate the technology, the rules must be crystal clear, so that way upon replay, we know. For those who want to do away with VAR, I get it, I understand, but you are asking for way more problems than I think you want. And I'll go back to 2006 when France gets the penalty to go in front of Italy. That was a penalty that never should have been called. There was simulation. It was a penalty that never should have been called. But if we had VAR, it doesn't happen. However, we didn't. So we had to run with it. And I screamed, and I almost threw things, and I almost destroyed a television in the process. But it's what we had. We have to remember that the rules of the game have to be clear. And if you watch the Premier League and switch over to La Liga and there's a VAR situation, it's going to be two radically different experiences. And that's the problem. It's two radically different experiences that we as fans are getting. The VAR people in England don't get it. The VAR people in Spain don't get it. We only have one choice, and that is to try to unify an umbrella. I don't think it's happening.
They've got to, in my opinion, have better implementation of VAR. I am not with our friend Canucks in the chat who is dropping the F-bombs about VAR. I'm going to disagree with you, Canucks, on that one. I think VAR as an idea is good. I think VAR getting calls right is good. The actual implementation by the video assistant referee, the person, needs to be better. It needs to be specialized. And every league's doing this differently. There needs to be consistency. I think... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the Saints and Rams pass interference debacle is a prime. We saw the replay. They changed the rules because of this one incident, and it became a complete disaster when they did it, because the referees were like, upon further review, the defensive player did this and this and this, and then it turned into like a 14-minute explanation of pass interference that made no sense to anyone. The fact that there was an issue with the replay camera or the monitors, it had to do with the interpretation of the rules that was the problem. And the fact that people at home and the officials couldn't get on the same damn page about it, and much less the players. So we have to find that is the challenge here. As long as England insists on going by a different set of rules and incorporating the Hawkeye system, if Switzerland doesn't want to do the Hawkeye system, if Italy doesn't want to do the Hawkeye system, you're going to have two radically different experiences with VAR.
Yeah.
And it's going to influence how you view the game.
Bernd prefers the way that MLS and the Bundesliga do it. They don't use the Hawkeye system. They will review offside decisions for a clear and obvious error, and that's it. They don't draw the lines, because when you use the lines, when you use the Hawkeye system, it goes past clear and obvious error to is it right or wrong? Like you're actually able to see it. It becomes more of like the mistaken identity. Was the foul inside the box or outside the box, where it's a black or white decision. MLS and the Bundesliga allow that level of interpretation from the video assistant referee. I don't really have the problem with the idea of yes or no. Is he onside or offside? If that's the law, that's the law. Let's answer the question. If we have the technology to do it, let's answer it. I think they have to go back and rewrite the law, because I think the law was intended to give gray area with a human being raising a flag or not, and now they can't. So to give that gray area back to the attacker, you have to define it differently. We'll see if they do. We'll see if they scrap the system with Hawkeye, if they say we're not going to use these things. I don't know. I could see it go either way. I think everybody from FIFA, the major leagues, IFAB, they all need to have the big meeting and make a decision here on how to go forward. The longer we have these loopholes and weird things, and some leagues are doing it well and some leagues aren't, and some leagues want to implement parts of it and some leagues don't, we need more consistency across the board so the viewers, so broadcasters, so the media know what to expect.
And I still think that we ought to have, and it's a point that we've made for years, that there should be a centralized location for VAR.
But that's a different one country to country too, because some do that already.
Yeah.
Most do that already, I think. That's far more common.
And then you need to have dedicated VAR officials, not guys who are upstairs and then downstairs one week to the next. I think that you've got to have those centralized officials whose only focus is VAR.
But that's another one. I think most leagues already do that. That's one where I think MLS does some good things with VAR, but those are two areas where I think they have it wrong. I think they actually use VAR pretty well in general, but those are two major areas where they have it wrong. I think MLS video assistant referee system is better than the Premier Leagues. I think it's been better from day one.
I like how Serie A does it. They get in and get out. They get in, penalty, not penalty, you're done. All right, let's go. And it's not a big show and a big fuss. But we as fans must understand that we are getting two radically different experiences with the push of a button that is not being experienced by the officials or players in either country we're watching. So we must be mindful of that. And we can have preferences of either no VAR or, I prefer country X to England or whatever, but just understand that there's two radically different experiences taking place.
Okay. John,
we don't Scotland. I'd be happy, for God's sakes.
Okay, actually, Jared, we since you were in and out, you have. Oh man, we're going to give you 3 minutes to rant about the Old Firm.
That's more than enough.
Is that more than enough? Good, because I need to grab a beer because we got Libertadores talk coming up in a second. So you rant about Celtic and Rangers and fill everybody in on that debacle.
All right. So in a 12-hour period, Friday night to Saturday morning, the Atlanta Braves pitched a shaky reliever by the name of Will Smith, who had been good all year and struggled and lost Game 5 of the NLCS. Then less than 12 hours later, the Old Firm happened on ESPN+. Now, Scotland has been picked up by ESPN+ going forward. Now, that's probably not going to take a full effect until next year. So it sounds like going forward, it's going to be one game a week, like a game of the week kind of thing, like the way Fox used to carry the noon game of the week on Saturdays when you had, This Week in Baseball Still one of
Right.
the best pregame shows anyone's ever done. So you have the Old Firm. That's how you kick off ESPN Plus. To Rangers' credit, man, Rangers lived up to the billing. They came out in a match in the East End of Glasgow at Celtic Park, and they beat Celtic 2-0. That result, in and of itself, not great if you're Celtic. Rangers now 3 points ahead in the table, equal in games played. The issue you have with the game, if you're a Celtic fan, is, my God, it was all of the warning signs for Celtic of the energy wasn't there. You're at home. You gave up 2 goals to a defender, and you didn't trouble Rangers. You just didn't. I don't know how many people watch that game, because the Old Firm is always good for some dark arts, usually involving Scott Brown, who, for as much as I have thought that Scott Brown has passed it, Scott Brown played a pretty decent game in that 6 role. He can't play the 8 anymore, and he's getting to the point where he can't play the 6 consistently. But Soto hasn't looked like that guy either. So Celtic kind of has a similar problem to Atlanta United, in that you have a 6 who has a lot of cachet with the club. Scott Brown 10,000 times more than Larinowitz. That's not a shot at Larinowitz. It's just that Scott Brown's been there forever. He's going to get a testimonial before it's all said and done. That he has gone out of his way to score and antagonize his opponents and draw a number of red cards, especially against Alfredo Morelos. But Celtic just didn't show up to the game and just looked like they weren't playing hard. Now, background of this, we backtrack very quickly. Celtic was originally playing 4-2-3-1. They switched to a 3-5-2 after Christmas of last year, where they got embarrassed by Rangers just before Christmas.
Jared, I must pause to say that John is holding up his Rangers kit.
I see it
right now.
Not mad.
Scotland today.
Here's the thing. Anybody can hold it up, because why shouldn't you? Rangers went into the East End of Glasgow and took Celtic's lunch money, and Celtic didn't say anything.
Nope.
He can hold that up. If I show up Saturday night to Mercedes-Benz Stadium and Carlos Bocanegra shows up in a Rangers kit and says, say something, I'm just going to shake his hand. What can you say if you're Celtic? Jason, you watched some of that match. What can you say if you're Celtic?
It was bad.
It was horrendous.
Yeah.
It was all of the red flags of a team that just didn't have it. I mean, not even playing. And that perception of, and it's dangerous to say, I know, that perception of not playing hard, because that's absolutely there in that situation.
It was bad. It was really bad.
It took 9 months for Neil Lennon. It took 9 months for Neil Lennon to successfully convert everything to a 3-5-2 against anything other than bottom feeders, because it works. It helps stretch things out. Jeremy Frimpong is an incredible right wing back. But once they flipped it, Frimpong on the right wing back role is such a good catalyst. It's kind of like Neil Lennon takes forever to come up with an idea, and once he gets it, he's going to stick to it. Plan B isn't really in his vocabulary. To me, what it looked like is Steven Gerrard has his guys drilled to know their roles. Celtic might be better talent-wise man-to-man, but they don't look like they're playing in a consistent system, and that raw talent wins out when you're playing Kilmarnock, when you're playing Motherwell. It doesn't win out when you have to play AC Milan in a couple weeks, who are going to skin you alive.
Yeah, Nick just walked out because he knew that was coming.
Dude, it's going to happen. Look, there are people who thought that Lennon should have been let go after you lose in Champions League qualifying at home to the Hungarian champions in a game that was just awful. Those calls are going to get louder now, but it's not going to happen. That game for him, to me, is the Columbus game for Frank de Boer.
Mm.
It is, if you cannot get your team to play hard against your rival in one of the biggest rivalries in the world, I can't help you. No one can, and someone else should get the opportunity to help. And frankly, it should be someone from outside the organization. Now, last time you really took a risk like that was Ronnie Dyla. Then you went and got Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers leaves in the middle of the night to take the job at Leicester, in the middle of a title chase to take over a Leicester team that was, I think, in like 14th place or something like that. Like, not even taking over a team that was like competing for a title. I still think, and I mentioned this in our production chat. I still think if Brendan Rodgers doesn't bail on Celtic in the middle of the season, which is absolutely what it was, he bails on them in the middle of the season.
Oh, yeah.
In the middle of a title chase, when Leicester said, yeah, we were willing to wait, he didn't have to come right away. He leaves in the middle of the night. And he tells Celtic fans later, well, I hope that now you can see why I needed to do that, is I needed to get used to that team and figure out who I needed to bring in. No one gives a damn about Leicester up in Glasgow. I promise you, they cared about winning another title. Neil Lennon took the interim job because he was a good fit at the time. If Rodgers leaves at the end of the year, I don't think Neil Lennon gets that job. And Neil Lennon brings plenty of passion. He's got the history with the win against Barcelona, with the club legend status. Man, the game's changed. That was a long time ago. And a lot of this time in a row has come from being unchallenged. Now you are being challenged, and maybe you still win this league. I don't really know.
We have breaking news from Nick Alifi.
This isn't so much a breaking news, but it is something that the rest of the city needs to understand, and that is that Thursday, the 22nd of October, there's going to be a showdown the likes that the world has never seen before. It is the first soccer over there derby between the illustrious, the magnificent, the amazing AC Milan and those also-rans known as Celtic FC. You, my friend Jared Smith, need to understand something right now, and that is that we are talking about money. We're talking about prestige. We're talking about custom-made clothes. Anything you want in the city of Milan, baby, it's going to be custom-made, number one, like nothing you've ever seen before. And while you're eating haggis and drinking whatever it is, swill that's put in front of you by the rest of the Scottish people, you understand something right now, pal.
Iron Brew,
and I
you
want
very
you
much.
to look at me. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me, Jared _Smith, because what's happening right now is that if you look right in here, you're going to say made specifically on for the greatest of all time, baby. Because I'm going to drink, hold up, my fine custom-made beverage, wearing custom-made clothes, and we will show down and decide who is the man on soccer over there. Dress up and wear your big boy clothes. Woo!
I
Wow.
wish I had a reason to retort to that. I just don't, because nothing is going to get fixed in Glasgow before then.
Jarrett, we
The only
actually
thing that
have
we
a Spanish language translation of Neil Lennon's halftime speech.
Jesus.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
This is what it sounded
Go
like.
for it.
No,
That was what it was.
Yeah, because that's about how many ideas he has. Now, the only thing that might happen in this game Thursday of note is Shane Duffy possibly power bombing Zlatan. That's about it.
Oh, I'd like to see that. That'd be fun.
That'd be great.
Because Shane Duffy's about that life, Irish international. That's the only thing that could happen in that game. Although, to be fair, Nick, we should be kindred spirits on this. Aside from these 180 minutes we're about to endure against each other,
Yes.
because I remind you, and I remind the people, the first. Now, I don't care about Man U. I don't care about Liverpool. I don't care about Tottenham. The first team from the British Isles to win a European title was Celtic in 1967, when they went to Lisbon and they took Catenaccio and broke it over their knee. So, Inter suffered. AC Milan won't suffer. Don't worry about that. But aside from these 180 minutes, we can still be friends over the breaking of the Catenaccio of Inter Milan of 1967. Because ain't nothing else really worth cheering about.
Milan's a minus 112 and Celtics a plus 303.
I'm hearing from the Milan
Yeah.
delegation that we will accept Jarrett's argument at this time.
Man. All right. Before things get completely out of hand with Milan
Wait, what?
trashing Celtic and fights breaking out. Actually, I don't know if Jarrett would even fight at this point. Do you kind of want Neil Lennon to get fired if Milan rips Celtic to shreds?
It won't happen. I'd like it
you
to,
just
but
resigned yourself to the fact it won't happen.
I tell you right now, he could drop that game 7-0 and it wouldn't happen.
Wow, that's kind of bad.
I will say this game does concern me as a Milan fan. Before we get too deep into Copa Libertadores and the rest of the European competition, Celtic will be a physical side to deal with, and that's something where Milan is seeing themselves at the top of the table right now. I want to know how much they're going to put in on this. They need the money to continue. I talk about money, prestige, all that. They need to go deep in this tournament, so they will put a top flight roster out there. Tonali is, from what I've read, is scheduled to be prepped and ready to go for that. So it'll be fun to see him be a part of this. But it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be no easy out, I can assure you.
Jarrett,
it's going to be physically exhausting, but I don't think that there is a correlation between the physicality of the game as it happens with the quality of performance you're going to see from Celtic based on the way they have been playing. And the way that, I mean, they're capable of maybe a moment of brilliance, like, you know, a Callum McGregor or Ryan Christie breaking from the midfield in and doing something amazing, or Olsen Edouard getting in front of net. All he really needs is one chance if he's healthy, and I'm not sure he's going to be. Man, there's not really a correlation for me between the physicality and then the quality from Celtic. They might be physical, but I don't think AC Milan has to really get out of second gear here to get away with points. And if things get south early, the heads will start to fall, I think, in Glasgow.
Oh, so Europa League, what is the format this year? Have they changed it based off of COVID and everything?
Pain.
It's not a group stage, is that correct? Or is it a group stage?
It is a group stage.
Okay,
so it is
normal.
Because
right.
that group has Celtic, it has AC Milan, it has
Sparta Prague.
Sparta Prague, and it has
Sparta Prague, Milan, and Celtic.
Yeah.
It's
actually
not
a terrifying group. Not even like world beaters necessarily, but like there's no easy games there. You're going to have to, at least show up for all of them. There's no like, we got the guys who finished in third place in Norway, and you know, some guy's got frostbite on his leg, so we'll deal with it on the return leg. It won't be a big deal at home. There's none of that with this. All of them are long trips, and granted, you know, I will never not laugh at the idea of Europeans talking about we have to travel 1,500 miles for a game. Cool, come to MLS.
Yeah, congratulations. Any East Coast team playing San Jose.
We call that league play.
That's right.
All right. Any other Europa League matches, and I know we do have some Spurs fans in the house, that you have juice boxes or Halloween candies for, John?
Ooh, I got them all.
I don't need like random weirdness from these leagues that you watch, like the Faroe Islands and Slovenia and Iceland. Okay,
I do.
No, I don't want that. I don't have time for that. I don't have that much Halloween candy. All right, what's Tottenham?
Let's see. Tottenham is a minus 286, 3 o'clock kick against Lusk. Lusk is a plus 741. Don't touch it.
Nah, don't touch it. There's nothing exciting about that one.
Nope.
Any other big teams you need to mention in the Europa
let's
League?
see. The Colonel wants to know about Dundalk. I imagine they're a plus 459 hosting Mulde, who's a minus 172.
Let's go Dundalk.
Leverkusen at home, a minus 161 against Nice, a plus 413.
That's an interesting game.
I'll take Nice.
Napoli at home against AZ Alkmaar. Napoli minus 333. Alkmaar plus 826.
Gattuso's got those boys rolling. Take Napoli into points.
Mm-hmm.
They are believers.
Arsenal,
absolutely.
John. Arsenal.
Don't absolutely take Dundalk as your like emotional team you're going to follow in this because no one thought they'd be here, but they're probably going to get their teeth kicked in. But you'll watch them and you'll think, man, they got some spirit in that 4-0 loss.
Roma on the road, a -105 at Young Boys, who are a +289.
I'm going to take Young Boys on that one.
Ooh.
Roma's got a little bit of struggles happening. They need some cash injection. That's not going to happen anytime
Just give him
soon.
Michael Bradley back. That'll help, right?
Jarrett, I'm about to put the sunglasses back on and cut another promo.
Ideas, man.
Don't make me do it.
Cut it on Michael Bradley. Don't cut it on me.
One of the greatest things, though, is when Bradley scored for Roma, the announcers called him Lex Luthor.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, that's great.
And Lex Luthor!
Yeah, that was
It's
amazing.
amazing. It was an amazing call.
Arsenal.
And then let's see.
Arsenal.
Leicester, 3:00, -370, hosting Zorya Luhansk, who's almost a +1100.
Who is Zoya Luhansk?
Zorya Luhansk.
Hopefully
is,
the team that beats Leicester.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. They're out of the Ukrainian league, and they usually finish behind our boys.
Your boys.
Right here.
Shakhtar.
Shakhtar, right there.
Shakhtar.
I can't claim Shakhtar.
Nope. And that's it for the
Arsenal!
Where is Arsenal? Who are they? Oh, Arsenal's at Rapid Vienna at 12:55. Arsenal's a -172. Rapid is a +459.
Oh. I can't go against Arsenal. On
Your
that
draw's
one. I
a
like Arteta.
+330.
No, I'm not touching it. Arsenal's going to get that one done. I like Mikel Arteta.
Put some airheads on it or something.
Nah,
Something you don't care about.
no, we got Champions League and we got Copa Libertadores. There's lots of Halloween candy to go around.
Banana flavored airhead? You're not going to put a banana flavored airhead on this one?
No,
You mean
it's
like
not
banana
worth it.
flavored Laffer Taffy? Let's slow down here.
No, it's not worth it. Yes, Joseph Martinez did play for Young Boys once upon a time, Badger. He was
He played well for them.
he did. Well, he actually played better when he was loaned out to it was a different club. Before he moved to Torino, he was in Switzerland. He did pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into Champions League. So,
Champions League.
a couple of storylines heading in. PSG, they play Manchester United. Last time these teams played, remember how PSG had this big thing and then wasted it? They had this big lead against Manchester United, and then you cut to Neymar in the stands,
PSG
and you
the
get like
Falcons
gifs repeatedly.
Are they the Falcons of European soccer?
They've only been to one Champions League final. The Falcons have been to 2 Super Bowls, so I'm going to say no.
I know, but they blow leads in amazing fashion.
Yeah, but they didn't
I just go back
blow.
to
They
that
didn't blow the lead in the
Barcelona tie.
Champions League final. So no, I'm gonna go no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go no.
Okay.
But PSG goes into this, and they will be facing not Edinson Cavani. There was some thought that maybe he would make his Manchester United debut against PSG. He will not. He was left out of the traveling squad. Ole Gunnar confirmed that Cavani's out, Harry Maguire's out, Mason Greenwood's out, Eric Bailly's out, Jesse Lingard is out. They're not making the trip to Paris. Cavani still needs to work on his fitness levels. I think he's had like 2 training sessions. Maguire had a minor knock. PSG is saying they will concentrate on fighting off Manchester United's counter-attacks. I don't know. Tuchel seems like he's not happy. I want to hear numbers on that one in just a second. Other bits
There's a lot of
news.
issues between Tuchel and Leonardo.
Yeah, it's weird.
Leonardo does that though. That's how he is as in any director role. He is extraordinarily abrasive. Extraordinarily abrasive. He was the same way people complained about a poison culture at Milan when he was there. So
Badger also points out that the Falcons are not flat track bullies in their league like PSG is. So that's another one on that side.
That's a very good point.
Yes.
yep.
And that kind of
Or their division, even, if you
year
want to take it
year
to that
with
point.
some, the NFC South is like the most.
Yeah.
Everyone has a knife and the lights are out division.
It's easy to kick the Falcons while they're down, but we're going to not kick them on this one. Diego Costa, speaking of kicking things, he is being treated for a thigh injury sustained against Celta Vigo. He will be potentially out against Bayern. Atleti and Bayern in Game 1. I dig it. Could be missing 3 weeks. And in Barcelona, Nick talked about it earlier, they are being asked to take another pay cut. The Burofax came from a whole bunch of players and staff and said, nah, not happening. I'm going to give you a couple of quotes from Ronald Koeman.
Okay.
I don't know if he understands this whole press conference game at this point.
No?
Quote, when you're at Barcelona, you always want to be there fighting for trophies, be it in La Liga or Europe. We aren't the favorites, but we can go far. On Lionel Messi. Right now, you could say maybe his performances could be better. But when you see him on a day-to-day basis, he's happy and wants to play and be the team's captain. I don't have any complaints or doubts about his effort.
Oh,
He's going to be gone in January.
Yeah, he might be.
they
I'm telling you,
both will
he's gone
be.
in January.
They both may be.
No way in the world this continues. He's going to cut a promo.
Man, I don't get what he's playing at this point. Other games to look at in match day 1 of the Champions League, Juve goes to face Dinamo Kiev, Chelsea hosting Sevilla, Lazio hosting Dortmund, Red Bull Salzburg and Lokomotiv Moscow, Real Madrid and Shakhtar, Ajax hosting Liverpool, that'll be a fun one, Manchester City hosting Porto, Inter and Borussia Mönchengladbach, which could be somewhat interesting. Let's get numbers, John, on... where do we want to start? Let's start with Lazio and Dortmund.
Lazio at home a plus 238 for a 3 o'clock kick tomorrow. Dortmund a plus 108, and your draw is a plus 284.
I'm taking Dortmund.
I like home underdogs, but I can't take that one. Can't do it. Chelsea and Sevilla.
Chelsea at 3 o'clock, plus 106. Sevilla's a plus 272, and your draw's a plus 256.
Gimme
Give me the draw.
the pack. Like, I want the whole pack of Smarties on Sevilla.
Yeah.
The whole pack.
A whole pack of Smarties.
The whole pack of Smarties on
All right, very
Sevilla.
well, sir. Bold.
Because
That's
Chelsea
bold. I
can't
like it.
defend at all.
Are we still going to have this conversation about John Terry versus... John Terry. About Frank Lampard
slow down.
versus Steven Gerrard.
Which one gets fired first?
Which one's actually a good manager?
Which one's going to win a
Which
trophy
one is-
first? We're going to go on the
Yeah,
positive
there
side.
you
I
go.
figured it was you, Jarrett, so we were going to go on the negative side first.
No, I mean, trophy.
Who wins a trophy first between Steven Gerrard at Rangers and Super Frankie Lampard at Chelsea? Rangers are in a good position right now. They have a better chance of winning their league than Chelsea does. I don't think Chelsea's winning the Champions League under Frank Lampard. I'm gonna have to go with
FA Cup.
I'm gonna have to go with Rangers. I'm gonna have to go with Rangers.
I'm going to go with the Rangers, too. I mean, like, even if Celtic somehow unscrews themselves, I mean, it is easier in Scotland unless they end up coming up against Hearts again, because Hearts put a knife into Rangers' side twice last year. Hilariously so, because that Hearts team was just god-awful.
Mm-hmm.
Rangers does have an issue of when really, really not great teams show up and park the bus. Rangers and Steven Gerrard don't really know how to break them down. They have speed right now, but that speed kind of gets mitigated when the team packs it in.
There's that. We'll save the highlight one for tomorrow. Just a second. Barcelona, what are their numbers?
Barcelona in the composite, courtesy of our friends at Odds Portal, is a minus 1111. Ferencvaros is a plus 2542, and your draw is a plus 11.
No, actually, I can't. Come on, okay, because I'm going to have to take, what's the crappiest...
Give me the Necco wafers. I'll put Necco wafers on the draw.
What's the crappiest Halloween candy ever created?
Necco wafers.
They're really
Bit of
bad.
Bit of honey's
Whoa. Bit of honey? Out of all the crappy Halloween candies, Bit of honey's not at the bottom.
Bit of honey's
I
pretty
prefer
bad.
Necco wafers, to be honest. Like, I'm with John. I like Necco wafers.
Let's see.
It's
what
the Tootsie Roll, isn't it?
John, I'm going to bring
It's
you some
the
Necco
Tootsie Roll.
wafers.
Tootsie
Saturday.
Rolls aren't that bad. I'm not even going to make a
no,
candy
no,
corn
no,
joke
They're always
here.
like 6 months old that end up in your bag.
Now that's
They're never the fresh new ones. They're always like the ones that are like pieces of concrete.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you need candy. Sometimes you need something to break up the concrete outside your house. Either way, you're set.
I'm going to take the sixlets. Have you ever seen the sixlets?
No.
Yeah.
They're like the fake M&Ms.
Yep.
Yeah, throw that
what about
garbage
Chick-fil-A?
on the team's name that I can't
Cheapest
pronounce.
chocolate known to man inside those things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's horrendous. It's like little pellets of crap. That's what sixlets are.
If you
Snow
took
caps
crap-
are also a strong call here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call. I'm going to take the sixlets on, how did you pronounce it, John?
Ferencvaros.
Ferencvaros. I'm not up on my Hungarian pronunciation.
That is who beat Celtic to get here.
See, there you go. There you go. Jared, there's your team. There's your boys.
No, I am dead inside.
That's your squad. They're playing Barcelona. It's going to be fun. Celtic could have been that team. Could have been you, Jarrett.
Yeah.
Instead, you're playing
Dan
Milan.
we missed out on that 8-0 loss.
Yeah, instead you're playing Milan. The big highlight game tomorrow at 3 o'clock is PSG hosting Manchester United. What are the numbers?
Oh, well, we missed a highlight. You have Juve and Dynamo Kiev at 12:55.
Oh, sorry, I skipped over that one. What are the numbers for Dynamo Kiev and Juventus, John? I'm sorry. I apologize.
Dynamo Kiev's a plus 378. Juve's a plus 119. Your draw's a plus 252.
Give me Dynamo. Why not?
Yeah.
Living dangerously.
Keep in mind, if you want to know about Juve's past couple of games, you're talking about a 1-1 draw versus Crotone, obviously the no-show against Napoli, and then a 2-2 draw against Roma, and then you had a 3-0 win against Sampdoria, which is not really saying a lot for Juve. There's not a ton of backing for Mr. Pirlo's ideas at the moment amongst the gambling world.
I'm going to put a pack of Fun Dip on Dynamo Kiev.
A pack of Fun Dip.
I'm going to put snow caps on Dynamo Kiev.
I'm going to put orange slices on Dynamo Kiev.
That's really bad Halloween candy, Nick.
That's
What, the
delicious
orange
Halloween
slices?
candy. You
Who's
hold
giving
your
you
tongue.
orange slices at the door when you say trick or treat?
My
Wait, what?
grandfather, who was a
I'm-
good man.
No, if you put candy corn or orange slices in my Halloween bag, I am a happy camper.
You can have mine.
I think I might be related to Nick somehow.
I'm sure it is. It's like the movie Twins, where you have like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. I'm the Danny DeVito character of the two.
Everyone in this room
This is canon now.
is now dumber
Congratulations.
for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Hey, you can hit whatever hot drop button you want. Candy corn is a great. I refuse to back down from this. It is Hill 72 for me. I will go all in on this.
It
We're
is.
fighting
It
for-
is. Gundy is correct here. It is garbage.
Oh my God,
You can have mine.
Jarrett, we're surrounded by men with no taste. Men with no taste.
Oh, I got a red card from Kefsey in the Twitch pitch. That's not cool.
Wow.
Why do you get a
Who did?
red
I
card?
did.
I'm just saying if somebody gives me an
No,
orange
Kev's
slice.
Red carded Jason.
If I'm
Oh,
a
good.
kid, and I get an orange slice at the door, and I'm in my I don't know, Power Rangers costume or my little Atlanta Braves
But
costume
is
or
it
something,
the
I get an
sugar-
orange
is it
slice,
the
I'm gonna be
sugar- is it
ticked.
the sugar coated one or like the
Yes.
actual orange?
Yes.
No, it's the sugar dusted. It's the sugar dusted candy orange slices.
That's a little better. I thought you were talking actual real orange
Yeah, I
slices.
always thought you were talking
What?
actual.
So that's why I
orange.
said,
That
why would
did
anybody
happen.
give you that at the door?
You're talking about real fruit? Who the hell
Yeah.
says they're okay?
That's
with real
what I
fruit in
said.
a Halloween?
No,
There's
we're
no
talking about
way
the
I would
candy.
feel. Do you guys know me? I would never be okay with real fruit in
you
a
give
Halloween.
me
That's
bag.
why I said
If you
that.
give me an
No.
orange slice for Halloween, I'm putting it in a sock and beating you with it.
That's
Yes.
what I said.
Exactly. It is like AEW. It is like AEW where we put the oranges in a sock and we just start.
I mean, look, the candy little orange slice things aren't that great, but they're not this
they're pretty
bad.
great.
No, they're not that great.
They're not as ass-tastic as circus peanuts.
That's
No,
true. Circus
no,
peanuts are
those-
pretty low
those are-
notable.
Those are horrendous. All right,
Circus
speaking
peanuts
of
are
circus peanuts, PSG and Manchester United. I have no
3
idea
o'clock,
what that transition
PSG's a
was.
minus 182. Manchester United's a plus 478. Your draw's a plus 363.
Wow. How dangerously do I want to live?
Not touching it.
Man, I really want to believe in Ole, but I just can't do it here. Can't do it. No, I don't have any
Do you
candy for him.
remember in the
part
90s?
of the program where PSG makes you believe they have it. So I'm going to take PSG in the points.
I want to because that's a good number for Manchester United. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry, Ole. I apologize. I've backed you many times. I can't put any candy in your bucket. Sorry.
What was that, Jarrett?
In the 1990s, I remember going trick or treating, and somebody one time gave me this candy that was like they had the consistency of sweet tarts, but they were not the tartness of them. But they were like little bones, and you could like lay them out and make a little candy skeleton with them. But they would just basically disintegrate in your mouth. I'm putting those on PSG with the points.
Okay.
I'm not sure they were not laced with something because I've never seen them since.
Yeah,
somebody probably manufactured them in their basement.
Yeah.
Forever and always, though, and kids, if you're out there listening to this, you have to do a little bit of research here and find out who is the newly divorced person. That's the house you go to for the candy because they always go in. Like they get the full-size candy bars. Whoever the single person is or the person who's newly divorced, they get the full-size candy bars.
Because they don't know any better.
Right. They don't know any better. I want to make the kids happy. I don't want anyone egging my house or rolling the yard. I'm putting full-size candy bars in the bag. That's who you go to, kids.
Sure. That's a good point.
You're welcome.
All right, Wednesday's games. Oh, go ahead.
For the record, nobody's putting an edible in your kids' bag because nobody's throwing away that money. Just so we're clear.
No. No one's putting drugged candy in there.
No one's putting edibles in your kids' Halloween basket because no one's giving those away.
No.
That is accurate. All right, Wednesday's games. Let's start with Red Bull Salzburg and Lokomotiv Moscow.
Red Bull Salzburg a minus 189. Lokomotiv Moscow is basically a plus 500, and your draws a plus 360.
Nothing there for me. Nope. Real Madrid and Shakhtar.
Nothing here for you either. Real Madrid's a minus 300. Shakhtar is basically a plus 800 on the road, and your draw's a plus 465.
All right, I think there could be some fun here. Ajax hosting Liverpool.
Oh, this is where you dial it up.
Here we go.
And
Liverpool is a minus 139.
Oh, yeah?
Your draw is a plus 309.
Really?
Ajax is a plus 376 at home.
That's a big home underdog.
Ding, ding, ding.
Uh-huh.
That's a big home underdog. I'm going to go check Mental Floss real quick and see what their best Halloween candies are. And this is a brilliant website, ladies and gentlemen. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the #1 on Ajax at home.
Respect the GOAT. Respect the GOAT.
The best.
The best. The best. The best.
Doing it. Ajax to win.
Yep. I'm putting white chocolate Reese cups.
Jesus Christ, what?
Yeah, they're not bad. They're a good change of pace.
What about the inverted Reese's cups? Have you seen those?
Yeah, they're pretty good actually.
Oh wow.
While we're going down
Nick
this
is
rabbit
freaking
hole.
out. Hold on.
Nick is
What?
in shock.
What are you freaking out about, Nick? What was that?
You don't like white Reese? White
No, they're
chocolate Reese
good.
cups?
They're good. They're good. They're just not my favorite. I'm going to go to the classic. I'm going to go to the OG.
I forgot they existed. You brought them back into my life just like a dad who went out to get cigarettes 25 years ago and just showed up.
I just showed back up, Jarrett. I just showed back up. Congratulations. Where's your homework?
Pretty sure this was Latan said about Celtic this week, by the way. It's like daddy's home.
Also true.
It's a bottle of vodka and Marlboro Reds.
Also true.
While we're on the
Johnny.
Reese's train, have you seen the Reese's cups that have Reese's pieces inside the cup?
Yeah, I don't like those
yes.
as much. That's overkill to me.
It's little, too busy is the perfect word.
Yeah. I like the idea when I heard about it and I tried it. I was like, no, this doesn't work.
Too busy.
Just not there. It's not going to work. Okay, Manchester City and Porto.
Manchester City at home is basically a minus 350. Porto on the road a plus 860, and your draws a plus 525.
Ooh. No,
Nah.
not going to do it.
Nope.
If it was somebody else, I might.
Nope.
What about our friends Atalanta? They're on the road.
Yep. Midtjylland at home is a plus 460. Your draws a plus 370. Atalanta on the road a minus 182. Michael Parkhurst probably has something to say about this.
Talk me into this, Nick. Talk me into at least a draw here with Atalanta's defense.
Oh, yeah. Look, to beat Atalanta, the formula is pretty clear. You jump over to midfield, but you have to have strikers who can finish the ball with religious conviction. Midtjylland does not have that. I'm taking Atalanta. They're going to get the win. So I'll say the scoreline is going to be about 3-1 Atalanta. They're going to be heated after that Napoli loss.
Yeah, that's why I can't do it. I can't. I was tempted. I was going to pull the trigger, but I can't do it.
I will then. Screw it. YOLO.
Wow.
I will put a Werther's original on a draw.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm not going to lie. Occasionally, a Werther's original's not bad.
I'll give
Not at all.
mine to you.
It is clutch in the right situation.
Occasionally. I mean, it's very rare. I went on a run for some reason when I was in college of when I would drive on a road trip. That was my road trip candy. I don't know why. I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. That was my road trip candy. We went through like a pack of Werther's Originals driving from Athens to Baton Rouge to watch Quincy Carter have the first half of his life. I think he went like 15 of 15.
Quincy Carter. Wow, that's a throwback.
Yeah, it was amazing. And Georgia held on and won. It was amazing. That was a great trip. I ate a whole lot of Werther's Originals and drank a lot of beer.
I just remember the creepy old dude who was a villain in the movies who was in the commercial.
Yeah, I mean it's old people candy. There's no denying it. It is. That's why I don't understand why it happened for me. I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, it's not bad occasionally. I haven't had one in a long time. Now I'm tempted to get some.
Yeah, Atalanta just went up to 185 while we're talking.
See what happens? It's the SDH effect.
They heard me.
All right, we got two more possibilities for some interesting things to happen. Inter hosting Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Inter minus 165. Borussia Mönchengladbach is a plus 460, and your draw is a plus 320.
That's the one. All right, I'm going to go back to mentalfloss.com, and I'm going to scroll down to the worst Halloween candies.
The generic Werther's Original in the wax paper.
Those aren't even generic
What
Werther's.
about
Those
the
are just
strawberry
generic
candies
garbage.
that are in like the little ridiculous.
Those are really
foil?
bad.
The little French strawberry candies.
Yeah, those are really bad. I'm gonna go with their number one. It's the best. I'm gonna put this on Borussia Mönchengladbach to win on the road at Inter. Everybody's favorite, candy corn.
Yeah.
Mönchengladbach gets the candy corn. Number one worst Halloween candy according to mentalfloss.com.
Mental Floss is an amazing website.
Thank you, Ellen Gatoski.
There's a finger behind this hand, Jason. I'm going to let you guess which one it is.
Yes.
Then the other
You
one.
can lay that, Jason. I will bet against Inter with the wax cola bottles.
Oh, those are bad.
Wow.
Yeah, it's number 4 on the list. Those are really bad. Those are awful. That's accurate.
Yeah, those
Give
are
me the
bad.
list. Give me the top 4. What's the top 4 worst candies?
Well, we'll go through the 10 because we've hit a bunch of them already.
German team.
Number 10, Bit of Honey. Number 9, Good and Plenty.
Yeah.
Number 8, Licorice.
Yeah.
I guess somebody's just giving you licorice, I don't know. I mean,
Here's
not
a
even like
Twizzler
no,
they
not the
put you with
Twizzlers, like just generic licorice. That's not good. Smarties is number 7, and I want to fight people about that one.
Yeah,
I like some
that's
Smarties.
a lie. That's a lie.
Tootsie Rolls
Smarties are
number
better than
6.
Sweet Tarts.
No.
Tootsie Rolls at 6.
No.
That's a little high.
No.
Necco
told you
wafers
guys.
at 5.
Necco wafers should be higher.
Wax cola bottles at
Necco's
4.
good.
The generic peanut butter candies, peanut butter kisses at 3.
Yeah.
Circus peanuts at 2, and candy corn at number 1.
Lost your damn minds.
Ellen
They've clearly
Gatoski.
been using mental floss to commit lobotomies because they've
Yes.
lost their mind.
Wow. Man.
Your
Mental floss
other
doesn't
thing-
lie. It's accurate, Badgermon.
Top 10 ways to sniff whiteout on mental floss. That's what they're doing
That's
right
the
now.
next article. It's true. That's what you
I'm
put
really
next on.
disappointed I don't see Three Musketeer bars on any of these lists.
They're
They
middle of the road. They're just kind of there.
yeah, they didn't make the top 10. Milky Way didn't either, and Milky Way's highly underrated.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Hawks of Halloween candy, they're just there. Not bad enough to be a cult thing and not great enough to be on the go.
Yep, it's true.
They're just there.
They're an 8 seed.
It's true. Okay.
Second round exit in the playoffs.
Last game on the board for Champions League, Bayern hosting Atleti, Wednesday at 3.
Bayern minus 179, Atleti plus 470, and your draws of plus 357.
That's going to be a fun game to watch.
That is going to be a fun game to watch.
Give me the draw.
Just give me the draw.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game to watch. I just want to enjoy it. I don't want to risk my Sour Patch Kids on it.
Nope.
Yeah. No, I'm not ready to. And I'm going to have to. My friend Andreas is going to be blowing up my phone the entire game. He's a huge Bayern fan, and he's from Germany. So I'm guaranteed to get at least 2 phone calls of, Nick, are you watching this game? Bayern is executing perfectly. Atletico's so horrible. You should not watch any of it. Only Bayern. Guarantee that's going to happen.
All right.
Well, with no Diego Costa, I could anticipate that.
Fair enough. All right.
Philadelphia has scored. The Union are up 1-0 in the 52nd.
Okay, not surprised.
Go get that supporter shield, Union.
Yes. Now, well, you might get it. You might not get it. It depends on if they want to actually hand it over because they're being stingy with the actual shield itself. Just saying.
They're being very
make
stupid
one.
about it, but at the same time, nothing to me would be funnier than Toronto correctly putting the comments they put out there, and then it not really mattering because they didn't win the shield position anyway.
That'd be funny. That would actually be really, really funny. It could happen.
Somebody needs to do that. This was like a giant cardboard plate and just bring it out and be like, we won.
No, Toronto would. They've got that much shade.
Poorly covered aluminum.
Josie Altidore would do that. He'd cover it in aluminum foil. It'd be cardboard and aluminum foil. He would do that. Josie would do that.
I think
Red Bulls literally used a Captain America shield when they won it on Decision Day 2018. So,
see, there you go. That could work. One other thing about Champions League before we move on to another competition. CBS Sports doing some kind of cool stuff with this. All the games, and I actually like this idea, all the games are going to be over on CBS All Access. Any game, Europa League, Champions League, they're all going to be available there to watch. They are doing a show called the Golazo Show, and it will be starring Nico Cantor. He'll have a whole bunch of different people on with him at different points. It'll be like Red Zone for those 3 o'clock games.
Nice.
They will bounce around from game to game. It starts at 2:30 on CBS Sports Network. You want to watch a whole game, you want to flip around from game to game, go to CBS All Access, or watch it in Spanish on the 2-day NA family networks. You want to watch the Golazo Show with Nico Cantor, you can watch that on CBS Sports Network. I want to see how they do that. I'm intrigued by the idea because it can be really good. I think it's harder to do in soccer, but I want to see how it works.
Yeah. Copa Libertadores.
Yes. We're going to work backwards, okay? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It is match day 6. This is it. There are some groups that there's not a whole lot left on the line. There are some groups that everything's left on the line. We will go to the Thursday 8:30 matches. There are 4 of them at one time. Group H. Boca Juniors, they already got the top spot. They're clinched. They're good. All is well. The drama is behind that. Caracas from Venezuela has the second spot right now down to goals scored. They are at Boca on the final match day. Now, Boca doesn't have a league game for a while, so they might as well play their full squad, but they don't have anything to play for. So We'll see how that goes. Caracas has to get a result at La Bombonera to secure that spot. Libertad from Paraguay, Tito Villalba's club, is at home. They're level with Caracas on points. They're level on goal differential. They're behind on goals scored. They are hosting last place Independiente Medellin, who just sent one of their center backs to LAFC.
Right.
Caracas has to win at Boca because I think Libertad wins over Independiente Medellin. Give me the Boca Caracas number if you got it.
Oh, I do. Okay. I have all the numbers. So
okay.
They're here.
All right. Sometimes South America gets a little weird, just making sure.
Boca, well, which one do you want first?
Well, I don't think there's anything in the Libertad Independiente Medellin game. I think Libertad wins it.
Minus 475 for Libertad. Independiente Medellin is a plus 860.
What's the draw?
Plus 450.
I mean, Independiente Medellin can't even get to the Sudamericana, the third place spot. They're dead. They're done.
Tito Villalba did not say goodbye to the city of Atlanta. There was no goodbye
Here he
post.
Oh boy.
Manifesto
I don't
coming
care how
up. Get
good looking
comfortable.
his thighs were and how immaculate his hair was. His fade was always excellent, but he did not say goodbye to this city. I am give me juice boxes for spite. Hold on, what's the candy I can go for? I will put Three Musketeers because I'm that much. I'm putting it down. Three Musketeers on Medellin. Give it to me, baby. Let's go.
That's ridiculous. That's
that will
absolutely
teach you not
ridiculous.
to
I would
say
just
goodbye
also-
to the city that loved you, Tito.
I would just also like to point out what I pointed out during the week last week. No amount of Tito Villalba thirst in this city has ever, will ever, come close to Javi Lopez mom energy.
That's true.
I think that is true.
That's true.
That's a hard one to compare, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
Mataflo thinks it'll be a draw. I think Libertad wins it. Caracas and Boca.
Caracas. Well, actually, let's go this way. Boca is a minus 667.
Mm-hmm.
Your draw is a plus 500.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waiting for Nick. There we go. I waited for Nick to finish taking the sip from his drink.
Mm-hmm.
Caracas, a plus 1150.
There we go.
Good Jesus.
There we go. They're in a must-win. They're playing a team that doesn't care. Boca's probably crying about a conspiracy theory with the draw from the Copa Liga Profesional de Football where they got put into the group of death. They'll be distracted. They have no reason to play here. Caracas is going to win at La Bombonera.
Wow.
Seconded.
Caracas is going to win because Boca's going to look at that number and go, yeah, we're putting money on that.
Yeah, that's right. There can be enough people on the Boca team who are like, hey, guys, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Going to bet your annual salary on that game. Jeez.
That's right.
Caracas wins. I think so. Mataflo goes with a draw in both matches. Okay,
All right, Mata.
the other group, Group E. Gremio leads it. They're going to play in the knockout round for sure. They might not win the group. Gremio hosting America de Cali. America de Cali is in third. They need a big win to have any chance of getting into second. They also need Internacional to lose on the road in Chile to Universidad Católica, who is not done because they could get into that Sudamericana spot. So Gremio first, Internacional second, America de Cali third, Universidad Católica fourth. Everybody's got something to play for here. What are the numbers in the Internacional Universidad Católica match first?
Católica is a plus 145. Internacional is a plus 180. And your draw is a plus 222.
I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with Universidad Católica.
I'm going to go with Inter, and I'm going to go with Gremio.
Yeah, I think Gremio gets it done against America de Cali. What are those numbers?
Yeah.
Minus 270 for Gremio. America de Cali is a plus 680. And your draw is basically a plus 300.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go with
I just
Gremio.
think America is going to be trying to swing for the fences here, and it's not going to. Typically, you swing for the fences, you end up with a pop fly. I think that's what you got right here. Gremio is going to walk out with a win.
Yeah, they've got to win big, and I
Unless you're
just don't see it.
Unless you're the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's true.
I wasn't going to go there.
Mataflo's going with
I'll go
Gremio
with
and
for
a
you.
draw. Mataflo has Gremio and a draw there. All right, Wednesday, you've got 2 time slots. The 8:30 round has 4 matches all at the same time. Group B is pretty much done. There's not a whole lot of drama here. Palmeiras and Guarani are both into the knockout round, probably in that order. Palmeiras first, Guarani second. It would take a shocking loss by Palmeiras to Tigre, who's a second division Argentine club, and a big Guarani win in Bolivia over Bolivar. Bolivar should get the Sudamericana spot. I don't think there's anything in these games. Palmeiras and Guarani both win.
Yep.
Bolivar a minus 114. Guarani a plus 206.
Wow, okay. Yeah, it's in Bolivia, so that does throw it off a little bit.
And your draw is a plus 290. Palmeiras a minus 385. Your draw a plus 400. And Tigre a plus 770.
What's the location of the game?
Which one?
The Bolivar.
It's in Bolivia.
Home game.
Does Bolivar play in La Paz? I do not remember.
Give me an out. I'm going to work the effort to find an.
Club Bolivar, which is owned by
altitude
Marcelo
check.
Claure, who is also an owner of Inter Miami. It is in La Paz.
Uh-huh.
In
They
La
play
Paz.
at the Estadio
God.
Olímpico.
Hold up. What's the draw on that one?
The draw in Bolivar is -1. The draw is a +290.
Give me the draw.
All right.
That's some safe money.
Yeah,
They
now that I'm
were,
thinking about it,
At
and
home, they were 2-0 against Tigre,
that's not saying much.
but I mean, no, but there's. All I'm saying is there's something to it there. I'm going for that low oxygen energy, and taking the draw.
It's either easy
actually-
money or it's good bait.
I like that. I like the draw there. Now that I think about it, I like the draw there. Because Guarani's not going to... I just don't think they're going to get into the first place in the group, so they're not going to have a ton to play for here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monteflo's going draw there as well. I say something crazy about Caracas winning at La Bombonera, and Gustavo pops into the chat. Always good. Never in a million years. He goes for America de Cali and Inter because he sympathizes.
Anytime you go a little bit off the reservation,
Bat signal.
Gustavo's intro music just pops up.
Yeah.
like
I love
Teddy Long.
Gustavo, man.
My God, that's Gustavo's music.
That's
I don't
exactly
have-
what it is.
Yeah, I don't have good Gustavo like entrance music. I mean, maybe. That could maybe be Gustavo's entrance music. I kind of like it.
Maybe if Eddie Guerrero had been from Argentina.
Monteflo's right. It's got to be a tango. I don't have an electronic like wrestling style entrance tango style Monteflo. I don't have anything like that. That would be fascinating though. We need an Argentine heel in the WWE. That would be
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer if you follow this stuff. It'd make total sense. Group
You know
A.
what's gonna,
Go ahead.
The perfect day is what's going to happen is when WWE goes to Argentina and Elias gets the guitar out in the middle of the ring and says something wrong.
No, he has. Oh yeah, no, that's happened.
What?
Has he done this already?
Yeah. Oh, he's said
Jesus,
crazy
I'm sorry
things
I missed this.
in Argentina for sure.
About like just goes like, oh, we got a game at Monumental. He's just talking trash about River.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know he did the heel song thing in Argentina. Now I've got to go find it and see what craziness he said. That's a good. That's
Probably
a good
Maradona
reference.
related things or Messi related things.
Watch it. It's kind of fate that the Copa Liga de Profesional de Football is going to start on October 30th, which is Diego Maradona's 60th birthday. I mean, it's kind of perfect.
How is that man only 60?
He's lived a lot of life, Jarrett. He's lived a lot of
Hard
life.
living. Hard living.
He's lived a whole lot of life. And the show that day, it might just be like 2 hours of Diego Maradona on October 30th. I'm just telling y'all. Group A has some drama left on the final match day. Flamengo, Dome Tarrant. Oh, yeah, by the way, MLS reference, Ilsinho alert. He is on the field for Philadelphia as they
Here come
lead
the
1-0.
microwave.
Yes, Ilsinho is dancing down the turf at Gillette Stadium as we speak. Oh, we almost had a
MLS
through ball.
version of Monte Ellis.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty good.
Vinny
So
Johnson.
Group A, Dome Tarrant heads down to Flamengo. He's got them topping the group with 12 points. They host Junior, who is in third place on 6 points. Monteflo, your boys, Independiente del Valle, they still have a chance to top the group. They host fellow Ecuadorian side Barcelona, who's in last place. So Flamengo first on 12, Independiente del Valle on 9, Junior on 6, Barcelona on 3. Let's start with Independiente del Valle and Barcelona.
Independiente del Valle a -156.
Yeah.
Barcelona at +340. And your draw almost at +300.
Yeah, I'm with Monteflo. BSC is so trash. You can at him if you want. I don't have to. I'm with you. You can add both of us if you want to. I've seen them. They're not very good. Independiente del Valle, even though it seems like all of their staff and players and everybody is possibly headed to Palmeiras, they're not going there yet. So Independiente del Valle wins. Now, can Junior go to Brazil and beat Flamengo? I don't think so, but what are the numbers?
Flamengo, basically a minus 300. Junior, actually, I tell you what, the draw is a plus 310. Junior, a plus 680.
Yeah. Nah, they're not that good. I don't think they're going to beat Flamengo, even if Flamengo still has some COVID cases. And actually, update on Independiente del Valle. What was that Barcelona draw number with Independiente del Valle?
Plus 290.
That's a pretty good number. Independiente del Valle has 21 reported COVID cases and are fielding half of their academy team.
Wow.
Draw.
Yeah. Give me Mr. Goodbar on the draw.
Let's go draw. Yes.
Mr. Goodbar. Jesus.
I like the
He's
Mr.
a Crunch
Goodbar.
Bar from 1997.
I like the Mr. Goodbar. I'm not gonna allow that slander, Jarrett. Although I will go slightly different, and I'll go with the crackle that you can't get in like full size.
Crackles are great.
I'll go with the crackle.
Crackles are great.
I have bought that variety pack of candy bars just to get the crackle because you can't get the crackle elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's absurd.
Wow.
Unless you go to Canada and get the Aero Bar at Zeller's.
Monteflo, you're going back and forth on this. I'm going to go draw. Yeah, zero bars.
The white chocolate nougat, the zero
Yeah.
bar, that is amazing.
I'm going draw with that much going on. I'm going draw. I think
You taking the crackle bars on the draw there?
Yeah, I'll go crackle bars on the draw because the
have
draw
to.
gets them second, and they don't have to worry about it. A draw. I'm going to go draw. And no, Junior's not doing anything in Brazil. I just don't see it.
No.
Okay. Wednesday, 6:15, the early game. Group F, not a ton going on here. Racing, Gustavo's favorite club, not really, he hates them, against, they're at the top of the group with Nacional. They're level on points. They're level on goal differential. They're level on goals scored. They both top the group. They're both advancing, so there's no question about that. They're both at home on the final match day. I have a feeling there's going to be lots of scoreboard watching here. Alianza Lima is headed to Uruguay to face Nacional. Alianza Lima has been very bad. Estudiantes de Mérida is going to Buenos Aires to face Racing. They've been not as bad. They are in the Sudamericana spot right now. Alianza Lima would have to somehow go to Uruguay, win, and flip a big bit of goal differential. I think the favorites win. I don't know by how much. That's going to be the fun here, is them watching the scores and saying, oh, look, Alianza Lima is getting beat 3-0 now. We got to go score 4. Okay, let's go score 4 on it at Estudiantes de Mérida. That's going to be the fun part. So what are the numbers in this just in case anybody is a complete and utter degenerate?
Nacional is a minus 588 at home.
Yep.
Alianza Lima, actually, your draw is a plus 610. Alianza Lima, a plus 1033. Wow. Racing, minus 667. Your draw, a plus 550.
Yeah.
Estudiantes Mérida, a plus 1050.
Yeah, don't even waste your time.
If you're out there listening right now in the Twitch pitch, and you put any money on any of these games, I want you to go seek help immediately, like right now. Like if you're even thinking about putting money down,
unless it's Necco wafers.
If you put anything higher than Necco wafers on this, I want you to go get help immediately.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You want no part of those. Just
you want no part of this.
No part of those. Those are nonsense. Tuesday, 8:30. Okay, Group C. Philadelphia just went up 2-0 on New England. Ooh. And El Monteflo also makes a disclaimer: never put money on South American games. Never put money
on what?
On South American games.
No.
Yeah.
Monteflo, I didn't think Lima was at home. I thought they were in Uruguay. Maybe I had that one wrong. I will talk to my people. I thought that one was at Nacional. Either way, I'm not even touching it.
Yeah, it's at Nacional.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. That's what I had anyway. The Tuesday night games. Okay. So, Group D. You got 2 sets here. River hosting Liga de Quito. River has an opportunity to jump Liga de Quito to win Group D. They're both going through. The bottom game is garbage. Sao Paulo hosting Binacional, who doesn't respond to emails or messages after we try to blow them up.
Bye.
You're getting blown out in Brazil, Binacional.
Blown
Bye.
out. You get nothing. You get nothing from
Nothing.
us.
So Paulo's a minus 714. Your draw is a plus 689, and Binacional is a plus 1650.
It could be plus 27,050. I'm not putting
Biggest
any
number on
NECA
the
wafers
board.
on it. River and Liga de Quito at El Monumental. That is a game to watch tomorrow night at 8:30. What are the numbers?
River minus 200 at home. Draw plus 333. Liga de Quito plus 559. See, Jason's thinking about it. He's thinking.
Draw, and Liga de Quito wins the group.
Yeah, I'll take that. I like that. That's fine.
I think it's a draw. I think they do enough to get a draw. I think they come in and fight and kick and throw people, and it'll be a brawl. I think they get something out of it. Yeah, I think they get a draw. I'm talking myself.
I'm down
into
with
it.
that.
I'm going to enjoy that one. That's going to be a fun one. Group C is one of the wild ones, though, and you've got everybody with something to play for on the final day. So Peñarol, who had been hot garbage and got Diego Forlan fired, they're third in the group now. They host the group leaders, Atlético Paranaense, while surprise second-place team, Jorge Wilstermann of Bolivia, they go to Chile to face Colo-Colo and Carlos Carmona. So, Jorge Wilstermann, we thought would have problems in match day 5 when they had to leave Bolivia and go out on the road. They went to Brazil and got a draw. Great result. They're in second place. Peñarol and
I
Colo-Colo.
recall being okay with Jorge Wilstermann. I recall being okay with him.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you did have that one right. I apologize. The sun shines on a dog's you-know-what every once in a while. It's true. Peñarol and Colo-Colo have both been hot garbage, but they can get into the knockout round if they win. And both of them, if they win, they both can't get through because Paranaense is going through. But then they'd be level on points. Then it comes down to goal differential and goals scored and all kinds of madness. Monteflo is saying don't even worry about it with Colo-Colo. Jorge Wilstermann will go and win. What are the numbers in this group, John?
Colo-Colo a minus 125. The draw's a plus 270. And El Monteflo and his confidence are showing at a plus 325.
I will join Monteflo on that particular train right there.
Oh, wow.
I do appreciate that Colo-Colo will be associated with Carlos Carmona in the Atlanta circle for about as long as I can associate Brock Berlin with the University of Miami. They're just going to be tied together in their fates for me.
Didn't Brock Berlin go to Miami for 27 years?
Yes.
Somehow
Wagan.
he got lots of redshirt years. It was weird.
Yeah.
Man, Westerman we trust.
Cherokee, Parks, and Duke.
Yeah, pretty much. Peñarol and Atlético Paranaense. What's it looking like?
Peñarol, minus 155.
Wow.
The draw's a plus 264. Atletico is a plus 435.
I'm taking Paranaense with that.
Yeah, I think I am too, because I've seen Peñarol a few times, and they've been really stinky garbage.
I just think that there's not enough breathing room for them up at the top of the table right now. They don't have any room to coast. So Wilstermann can jump them. I just think they have to go out. So they're not going to sit back and relax on this one. I'm sit where I sit.
Yeah, I think Paranaense gets the win there. I just can't trust Peñarol. And we're saving the best for last to kick us off in the Copa Libertadores match day 6. Tuesday, 6:15, Defensa y Justicia going to Brazil to face Santos. Olympia hosting Delfim. Now, this group got turned all upside down and on its head and kicked in the groin area with the results in the last one. So Santos has won the group. They're through. It doesn't matter. They could not even show up if they didn't want to. That'd be great for Defensa, because if that happened, Defensa would go through. It's not going to happen. But are they going to field their strongest team? Probably not, because they are not in the best of positions in the Brasileiro. Well, let me see where they are after the weekend's action. They did win. They were playing Coritiba, which is, I think they were 16th coming into it. So Santos currently sits 5th in the Brasileiro. They are 7 points off of Internacional and Flamengo. And their next league match is coming up on Sunday, where they go to Fluminense, who is 1 spot behind them. I think Santos rests a bunch of people here. If Defensa wins, they go through. They're the second-place team. They control their destiny. Now, it gets complicated if Defensa does not win, because Olympia is 1 point behind them. Delfim is 2 points behind them.
Mm-hmm.
That match is in Paraguay. I think it's chalk here. I think Defensa goes to Brazil and gets a win, because I don't think Santos fields anything close to a first team. And it doesn't matter what the other game does. I think Olympia gets a win, and there's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching between these two. Because if Olympia wins and Defensa doesn't, Olympia goes through as the second-place team. What are the numbers for our boys' Defensa?
Santos, a minus 105. Your draw is a plus 240. Defensa y Justicia is a plus 270.
Yeah, they're thinking Santos isn't going to field their first team, because it would be bigger otherwise. I believe in Hernan Crespo's guys, and I believe that Santos will not be at full strength. I think Defensa gets a win. Go ahead and do it, Nick. Be a heel.
I'm not being a heel.
You're being a heel.
I do not gamble with my heart. I don't gamble with my heart. I love Defensa y Justicia. I've been on board from minute one when we started diving in to the wonderful, wild, and wacky world of Argentina football, but I do not see them going to Brazil and getting a result. I just don't. I don't see it. I think Santos gets out with a 1-0 win, and I think it's going to come very late and off a stupid goal.
I would be very sad.
So the Atlanta-Toronto special.
Yeah, it'll be a Toronto special.
I want to see what their lineup is. I would not put anything on this until I see the lineup. That's the biggest thing here.
I can co-sign that.
Yeah,
I'm not putting...
If Santos has like number 80 and 90 and 106 in there, then I'm going to.
I was about to say, he's got to be triple digit.
Yeah, I don't know if they do that in Brazil or not. I think they do.
I wish we did that here.
That'd be
Just
cool.
like Jack Gurr comes off the bench with like 143.
Sure.
And now making his way onto the field, number 240.
Will Riley.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you get like 300 stuff in Mexico.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's great.
If you're on the U17s, you get into the 300s, I think. What's the other match? Olympia and Delfim.
Olympia minus 215. Your draw is a plus 325. Delfim is a plus 5 at 55.
Yeah, that's about right. Delfim's good on the counter, but I don't know if they travel that well here. They didn't travel that well to Defensa. I don't think they travel
Good
any
on
better
the
to
counter,
Olympia.
bet on the Halloween candy.
I think Olympia wins. I think they win big, and based on goal differential, Defensa will slide to the number 3 spot and go to Sudamericana.
Yeah, if they win, if Olympia wins, it doesn't come down to goal differential because they're only 1 point behind Defensa. If, in your scenario, Defensa doesn't win. If Defensa draws, that's not enough either. If Olympia wins.
What I mean, though, is that there's a very thin margin between No, because
they're stacked differently because of the point differential. So it kind of comes down to their results. Like Defensa, if they trying to think, if they lose and Olympia draws, Olympia would come even with them, and it would depend on how much Defensa loses by. They could fall out on goal differential. They probably would. Whoa, New England just scored a goal that is a goal of the week candidate. Tajon Buchanan, good grief. Go fire that one up on ESPN Plus if you get a chance.
Bruce is aware of Nick right now and is just smiling through it.
No, Bruce doesn't smile. There was no smiling going on because he's still losing 2-1.
Oh!
Yeah, that's a rocket.
Hello.
The Bruce Arena face?
What's going on here?
No, Bruce, apparently not. It's a hell of a strike from Buchanan.
Yeah, just outside the 18. Andre Blake couldn't even get his hands up. Good grief. Monteflo with an update on the Ecuadorian league. Absolute stupidity in Ecuador right now. 2 goalkeeper errors in LDU Porto Viejo versus Deportivo Cuenca. One cost a goal. The other is yakety sax times infinity. All right, I'll have to be checking out my South American Twitter list for highlights of this one, Monteflo, or you can slide those to me if you find them.
I think you put him on
Shout out
the
to
SDH.
Monteflo.
I think you put him in the SDH account.
Excellent. I'll be checking that out. Yeah, I created because I'm trying not to drive myself crazy with Twitter these days. I created lists, so I typically go to my lists when I'm looking for news and things to not go through craziness. And I have a South American football list. Got over 200 people on it, and I've got a Euro list, and I've got an MLS and USMNT list. I'm not done with the MLS list yet. I haven't made that one public. But the European list and the South American one, if you're just looking for a list of follows, it's mostly journalists. It is in English and Spanish and Portuguese and whatever. The translate button is your friend. But those are there if you want to jump on those and keep up with what's going on. The South American one has been a lot of fun to follow on nights with like qualifiers and Libertadores because highlights will pop in there, people talking all kinds of recklessness. New England just tied it. Buchanan again.
Now Bruce will smile.
No.
No, they're pulling it back? Flag goes up.
Yeah, they pulled it back.
Flag goes up.
Nice job, Pro.
Let's see.
Jerks.
Man.
I'm just going to assume they got it wrong. I'm just going to assume they got it wrong.
That's pretty bad.
Pro has given me zero reason to think they can even tie their shoes.
They might have gotten it wrong. It's really close.
Yeah.
It's really close. You got the lines on the pitch at Gillette. Not completely football lines, but you can see the lines there. Oh, they're not going to look at it.
Oh.
They looked at it really fast. That was really close. Hey.
We're going to get a comment from Pro during the week. Whoopsie. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Pro did chime in. Yeah, they did have an oopsie last week. They admitted that their VAR should not have sent a replay down because it was not clear and obvious. But the referee looked at it and decided that he made a mistake, and he did give the penalty. So Pro is saying it was not clear and obvious, but the referee is saying, I made a mistake. Yeah, if you can follow the logic in that one, please send all of the Reese's packs, the good ones, not the little gold harder ones, like the good ones, the 1-cup packs. Send me those. You know what? Send me the Halloween pumpkins, if you can find the logic in that one that Reese's makes, which is just the Easter eggs, like reshaped into a pumpkin shape, and they'll do a Christmas tree later.
Trees.
That's coming.
I'm telling you, the problem
It's
with American
madness.
soccer is not the players. We're getting better coaching. The problem is the top flight officiating. It is a nightmare, and it has not remotely caught up with the rest of the game.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
Thank you, Big Shaq.
Big save from Andre Blake. We're in the 85th minute, and New England and Philadelphia is absolute madness.
Big save, Blake.
Madness. That's a big save. He's a full stretch.
We might get Blurry Mouth Bruce again at the end of this one.
Probably should. If he sees a replay of that one, he might.
Yeah.
Man, craziness.
Yeah. That one angle that they had from the slash looked pretty close.
Yeah, it did. And I was surprised they went really quick with that. Really quick with that. All right, what else is on your list, Nick? Did we hit everything?
I think we hit just about everything. I'm very comfortable with where we are as a show this evening. I think we covered a tremendous amount of content, gentlemen.
We did. Oh, no, wait, I got one.
Huh?
I got one. I need a really proper sounder for this one. This might be it.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Here's why.
I thought we covered pro already.
No, we're covering the USL Championship now.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, remember when Phoenix Rising had a player use a homophobic slur at Colin Martin of San Diego
Yes.
Loyal? And
Yep.
remember how Phoenix did not take that player out of the match, and San Diego said, well, then we're done. Bye. We're not standing for this. And they forfeited.
Correct.
Remember, San Diego was leading 3-1 at that point.
Yep.
Oh, God.
And remember that Phoenix was given a win and 3 points for that game.
Yes.
Also, remember that seeding priority for the final is done by regular season.
Yep.
The only reason why Phoenix has the number 1 seed is because of those 3 points.
Oh,
So,
my God.
if Phoenix wins in the Western Conference Final, they will host the USL Championship Final, thanks to Junior Flemings using a homophobic slur against a player from San Diego, and Phoenix getting 3 points for it.
Oh, I'd love to go Blurry Mouth right now.
Yeah. They were rewarded for that.
You know, there are a few opportunities in life to right a wrong. They come along very rarely, and when they are missed, they tend to stick with you. I hope this sticks with the governing body for a very long time. I don't give one flying what anyone at Phoenix Rising has to say about this. I don't want to hear from the manager. I don't want to hear from the player. I don't want to hear from the supporters groups. San Diego did the right thing, in my opinion, by walking off the field. You should not have to tolerate that mess. And USL should right this wrong. You can't tell teams and players, well, the right thing to do is just walk off the field. And when they do that, then punish them. We as a society have screamed that something like this happens, walk off the field. Make the bold stand and walk off the field. And Phoenix Rising's buffoonery shot is going to be rewarded. And that to me is just absurd. And I'm really struggling not to use profanity.
Oh,
right
I know. Yeah.
So it's hard for me because it's my first language. So
Right there with you.
it's very difficult for me to not say what I really feel, and that is that you're rewarding homophobic statements, just cut and dry. If you allow this to go on, you're rewarding homophobic statements. So
there's two things
you
here
can't sit
for
there and
me.
go, well, by the letter of the law, San Diego shouldn't have left the field. Like, okay, well, what do you want them to do? Sit there and just take it? Your referee wasn't fixing the problem. No league officials were fixing the problem. If if it was my teammate said I'm walking off the field, I'm walking off with him.
If Phoenix wants to be legit about it, Kevsey asked if the coach was still on leave. I don't think he is, actually. I'm pretty sure I saw a highlight with him on the touchline. John, if you want to see if you can confirm that.
I will.
I think he was back for their win in penalties. They're in the Western Conference Final against El Paso, and they are hosting that. I don't know if El Paso would have had the ability to host that if they didn't get 3 points here. A couple things. First off, we've seen the USL move the location of matches before just because they want to. So there is precedent for doing that. They don't have to say, well, the points and et cetera, et cetera. Also, if Phoenix is as sincere as they say they are about trying to right this, they should decline the hosting rights if they get there. And they should say no, because either Eastern Conference team should be hosting over Phoenix, because Phoenix would have less points if they didn't get that 3. If they're the big boys that they say they are, and they're trying to do this the right way, and they suspended Junior Flemings, and coach went on administrative leave, but I think he's back, and blah, 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 blah. If they get there, and El Paso plays them this weekend, and I might be pulling for El Paso, I'm just saying. If Phoenix gets there, they should say, you know what, we're not going to host. We don't want to host. We don't think that's right. We will go on the road in the final.
Like I said, this is your one shot. This is your one shot to get it right. If you say no, we've earned the right to host the home match for whatever reason, and I guarantee you they'll wrap it, in the whole, well, we get to have our home fans, and finances have been tough because of COVID, and you have one shot, man, to get it right. And if you don't do it, it's something you're going to live with, and you may feel A-okay with that for a certain period of time, but at some point you're going to have to look at your kids and your grandkids and say, yep, I was a part of some stupidity where we profited off of one of our teammates' homophobic, slurs to an opposing player. You want to profit off of that? That's fine. Just know that the rest of us are going to look down on you for it. So whatever.
And maybe be cheering for El Paso.
Yeah. I guess I know what I'm wearing in the morning, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Not happy about that one.
And I love El Paso. El Paso is a fine town.
Well, then it'd be great if they beat Phoenix and we don't have this problem.
I would love it.
Stoppage time, Philadelphia holding on 2-1 against New England. About 2.5 minutes. So that means we got about 2.5 minutes before we jet out of here. What was your favorite thing about the weekend in the beautiful game, John?
Oh, wow. My favorite thing. Just as a fan of Team Chaos, I look at the top of the ladder in the Premier League. I look at the top of the ladder in Serie A. I look at all of the names that aren't the names that we're used to seeing at the top of the ladder across the board. Am I a Villa fan? No. Do we know Villa fans? Yes. The fact that we have right now them as the only undefeated team.
New England just had a chance from 8 yards out and put it over the bar.
Of course.
Lee Wynn had a chance to win it. Oh, my God. He danced through 3 people and then puts it over the bar. Total blurry face from Bruce. It's got to be. I don't know how Lee Wynn first danced through, seriously, 3 people and then puts it over the bar. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. Interim head coach Blair Gavin was quoted before the match started about all the pregame stuff. So I'm still efforting to see if Shantz was on the touchline for this game.
No, maybe he wasn't. It could have been wrong. Go ahead.
But no, just the notion of seeing the fresh faces up top. Do I fool myself into thinking that it's going to be like this for the entire season? No. But just seeing Villa, who's second currently in Serie A, Nick, behind your team?
That would be Sassuolo.
Yeah, seeing Sassuolo second, seeing Aston Villa there, seeing Everton up top, those kinds of things, I'm enjoying that. Seeing the little guys tie Barcelona and Real Madrid. That to me, I thought was tremendous. It gave me a good cackle for something for the first time happening in over 20 years. That kind of stuff is what made my heart warm this past weekend.
Jarrett, what about you? I know you didn't have a good weekend in the sports world, but was there anything that made you happy?
Yeah, there was actually, and it happened in MLS. It's the abundance of young players coming up from academies in their teenage years and putting up numbers and impacting games in a positive way. We talked earlier tonight about older players coming from Europe and how you can't just come into MLS anymore, land anywhere, and cut your paycheck, perform some, and go about your merry way. You've got to be a little more selective because the game is changing. I think the game is changing a lot for the better on the MLS side when you've got more and more of these academies producing young players who not only can potentially go for money down the road.
Sorry, we just got total classic Bruce face. When the whistle blew, I don't have the sound on, but it was a New England throw like a few seconds past the allotted stoppage time. And I'm wondering if they blew it and didn't allow him to take it because Bruce had the bewildered, mouth wide open, stumbling around thing going on. That's incredible.
See, when he does that, he reminds me of the big mouth pass that you would put on your wall that you would push the button and it would sing "Take Me to the River."
Yeah, so when you start singing, it breaks out in the song on its own.
Yeah. Anyway, so young players in MLS, not just providing financial support down the road when you sell them, wherever it may be that you may sell them, but that they're impacting games right away because academies are working the way academies should with a system and producing guys who can jump in and impact the game. And they're not a circus act. They're not, hey, we got this young guy we brought up from the academy who's 17. He's great window dressing. No. We brought him up and he fits in the system. He can slot in. He's confident and he's contributing. That's awesome to see. And I'm excited to see, as much as we talk about it with Atlanta, I'm very excited to be seeing more teams in MLS going down this route and producing more and more young players. I know you want to see it in Atlanta. I know a lot of people do. Look, it's coming.
George Bello is the second. I think he's a teen. I saw the list. Now I got to find it. Bello is in the top 5 or 6 in minutes for players under the age of 21 in the league in minutes. He's played 10 straight. I think he's the only teenager to do that this season. 10 straight matches. And
he's played 10 straight matches, and the drop-off isn't – what's amazing to me about Bello is the drop-off in performance hasn't been as stark as you would think it would be for a kid his age.
He's second among teenagers in minutes played behind Brendan Aronson. 5th in players under 21 in minutes played behind McKenzie, Aronson, Frankie Amaya, and James Sands.
When the day comes, you move them. That is what we will call plus Valenza, where it is nothing but bank.
Oh, and update on the New England situation. So it was a throw, like right up against the corner flag for them. They throw it into the box. It kind of bats around and gets half cleared. The referee checks his watch, and he blows the whistle. As the ball's getting cleared, it falls to Andrew Farrell, who is charging in 25 yards from goal. He would have had an opportunity for a clear shot or a cross to the back post.
Whistle Good job,
blows.
Bro.
Yeah.
Suck at your job.
Bruce was not happy. I can't wait for the quotes out of that one.
So, long and short of it, I'll wrap it up finally, is just young players. I know people want it in Atlanta, and I know they'll look at George Bello and go, yes, and in terms of we want more than Bello, it's coming. You got more guys coming. Trust us. There's more coming down the road, and it's going to get better, not just for Atlanta, but for a lot of these teams producing this talent. Hey, you're in Europe and you're looking to come to MLS, TikTok, because guess what? You're not going to have as much room when these clubs are developing these young players who, frankly, don't cost as much money and can slot in and win you games. So awesome to see younger players in MLS, teenagers even, coming out here and performing.
Hey, Jarrett, how many Tuesday games do you go to or watch?
A year? I try to watch every single one of them, and I try to go to 80-90% of the home games when there's actually fans in the stands, because when I go, there's generally only 2 of us or 3 of us in the press box. There were games I went to in the past where Jason and John are a booth over, and I can make faces at them and they won't pay attention to me. But otherwise, it's Atlanta United comp staff, probably somebody like Sydney Hunt from Dirty South Soccer. And Sydney's there a lot. But
so when you say this stuff, so the reason why I say that is because you have eyes on this. You're seeing firsthand what's coming through. It's not some kind of, I'm pulling stuff from midair. You're actually watching this stuff take place. So I just want to make sure we qualify the statements you're making accordingly. That you're actually watching these games and watching these players coming through and the progress they're making.
I invite people to go pull up a game from 2018 from Atlanta United 2. Watch it. Then go watch a game from 2019. Then go watch a game from 2020. Go watch the progression they've made. Don't worry as much about the scoreline. I know scoreline matters to people, but these are kids a lot of times, especially this year when your average age was like 19 and a half.
Yep.
Go watch the progression of the way they play. The confidence, the bravery, the passing, the composure. Go watch them. It's happening in other places around the league too.
All right, Nick. What made you happy?
Jackie Fresh slotting in 5 goals in his ODP tryout. Whether or not he moves on or not, he put in a great performance. He tried really hard, put in a lot of effort and a lot of preparation, along with his buddy Marco. I want to give a shout out to both of them. That really made me happy watching the ODP tryouts. There are kids out there in this town with a wall of talent, boys, girls. I saw this one girl, she could have been more than maybe 10 or 11 years old, bossing people, spinning around, nutmegging people left and right. She was amazing. Child, do your thing, because when we get an NWSL team in this town, I expect to see you one day in the stripes. That made me absolutely thrilled watching these kids go out and bust their butts and really try to reach their goal of making the next level for ODP training. That is really what got me, even more so than Milan over Inter, because watching the hometown kids get it done was awesome to see.
All right, I'll tell you what made me happy.
The girls players in this state are absolutely terrifying.
Ballers.
They start producing. Jesus.
Here's what made me happy. France football came out with the final 3 positions in their all-time Ballon d'Or dream team. They've got the list for left wing, right wing, and up top. You get to pick one of each of these. This is where it gets brutal. It was bad enough in the other positions. This is insanity. So, okay. Ballon d'Or dream team, left wingers. Oleg Blocking from the Soviet Union. I remember him just a little bit from like World Cup films and stuff. Played from 1969 to 1990. Cristiano Ronaldo. Dragan Javic. I believe Yugoslavian, I'm assuming. In the 70s. Can't say I'm familiar with his work. Ryan Giggs. I am familiar with his work. Thierry Henry. Very familiar with his work. Rivaldo, love that he's on here, incredible player. Roberto Rivellino, another incredible player, an incredible mustache too, by the way. A certain guy by the name of Ronaldinho, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, and Risto Stoichkov. You get to pick one of them.
Ronaldinho.
Yeah, Ronaldinho.
Yep, Ronaldinho.
Y'all are all drunk.
Prime Ronaldinho. We're not talking 3 a.m. at the club Ronaldinho. We're talking Ronaldinho prime.
Actually, I'm drunk. Gustavo's with you too. I am not with Ronaldinho here.
You know what? Maybe you're the drunk one.
I might be. Everybody else is sober. I'm hammered.
You on Rivaldo?
No, not over Ronaldinho. I think I'm going Thierry Henry.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. We all make questionable choices in life sometimes. This is yours. It's okay.
Yeah,
I
how
would agree with
questionable
you,
is
but
that?
Then we would both be wrong.
My hipster pick would be Risto Stoichkov, by the way. Actually, no, my hipster pick would be
You know what?
Rivellino.
I'm not mad because that crossed my mind too. Because he's going to win you games, and he might kill someone too, and that's bonus points.
Yeah, ask college kids who played DC United when he was there. I think there's still a lawsuit on that one, actually. Hey, I'm going Thierry Henry. Y'all can all hate if you want. That's fine. Right wing.
Not hating, just participating.
Here's the right wing. David Beckham. George Best.
It's great to be included on this list. This is maybe before I met my wife, and I got me fixed, So sure, pleased to be on here.
George Best. Samuel Eto'o. Luis Figo. Garrincha. Jairzinho. Kevin Keegan. Stanley Matthews, going way back. Lionel Messi.
Oh, that's it.
And Arjen Robben.
This is left wing, yes?
Right wing, sorry. Right wing.
Right wing, sorry.
It was Robin's right wing. It's cut inside o'clock.
Yeah,
What era George Best are we talking?
I was going to
Well,
say
it's
Figo
the whole
Messi
career,
popped up.
but Best drank himself through the second half of his career, I think is fair to say.
And in Los Angeles with the Aztecs. But
Yeah.
I was going to say Figo until Messi popped up, so I'll go Messi.
I can't go Figo over Garrincha or Jairzinho.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to go hipster here, it'd be Garrincha.
I'm going Garrincha.
He was like, there's not a whole lot of real good footage, but he was incredible. Like, he was Ronaldinho before Ronaldinho existed. In terms of crazy dribbler, would like find a way through anything. The biggest thing with Garrincha is I think he had polio when he was a kid, and his legs were like bent, like his knees were bent in. So if you're watching him as a defender, like you'd get completely lost in where he's going.
It's worse. One leg was shorter than the other.
Oh, even better.
So not only was he bow-legged, one leg was shorter than the other.
It's crazy that the two right wingers on this list, and George Best and Garrincha, who both had massive alcohol issues, that totally derailed the ending of their career. I love Beckham, but he's not in the top three on this.
No.
I've got to go Messi. And then I would probably go Garrincha and Best, just for sheer talent. Even if they drank most of it away.
Yeah.
I'm going Garrincha.
Messi.
And Best has some serious, Lowell George energy about him. So
George Best, the goal he scored for San Jose in the NASL where he dribbled like half the team. That's a fun one, and he might have been hungover and or drunk.
Yeah,
that's the tragedy of George Best, is he really could have been. Like, he's one of those guys, when you talk to the old-timers who actually watched Best play in his prime, they all say the same thing. Like, even the non-Brits, they were like, George Best could have been it. He could have been the guy had he kept himself off the bottle. And it's tragic how that worked out.
The
same thing
30,
for Garrincha,
Yeah.
ESPN did a 30 for 30, the little World Cup shorts.
They did a World Cup short on Garrincha. They did a 30 for 30 on Best. And the 30 for 30 on Best is one of the best ones they've ever done. And it's one that not many people watched because I don't think as many people are familiar with his story. Incredibly sad. But George Best would be my top three, but I got to go Messi as the number one.
He could have been it.
Yeah.
He could have been it. When you watch that, I really want everyone on the Twitch pitch to please go watch that. It is well worth. It is amazing to watch.
All right. Now we go to the center forward. And it does not get any easier, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, man.
Dennis Bergkamp. Unbelievable player. Just good grief. Johan Cruyff.
Dennis Bergkamp.
Johan Cruyff. Kenny Dalglish. Eusebio. Sandor Kocsis from Hungary. Gerd Mueller.
Wow.
Romario, Ronaldo, Marco van Basten, and George Weah.
Oh my God.
Before I even gave the list, Bernd said Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For those who did not watch Serie A in the 90s, Ronaldinho, like the late 90s, early 2000s, Ronaldinho was doing stuff. Like, he's the one player that anytime he touched the ball, like all the Milan fans just went because he was wearing the blue and black at the time. And the minute he touched the ball, he was gone. It didn't matter who you put on him. It didn't matter how many guys you threw at him. He would find a way past you, through you, over you, and would launch a missile that would just wreck your entire month. And so I have to say, because of that fear and admiration, that it would be Ronaldo prime.
Yep, it's got to be. It's just got to be.
I've never seen a player like him before that could do that.
And he still, even after he had the knee issues, he still had something special. He didn't have that explosiveness anymore.
No.
But he was still a great number 9. It's got to be him. I'm glad Romario's on here. Out of this list, I've only seen one of them live, and it was Romario at Silverbacks Park when he played for not the Miami FC, but Miami FC. And he was like 40 or so. This was in the USL days of the Silverbacks, like 2006 or 7. He might have been 38, 39, 40, somewhere in that ballpark. He barely moved the whole game. Silverbacks couldn't get anything out of it. Miami wasn't very good either. They had Zinho on that team, too, who was about as old, but could still move. Romario barely moved. He touched the ball maybe 10 times in the game until the final 2 minutes, and he just drifts away from the center back, gets a touch, beats the center back, scores a goal, wins the game. They leave. It was incredible. I mean, just incredible to see up close like that, because he still had just a little tiny bit. But Romario was great. Ronaldo was incredible. Eusebio, I mean, you hear all the stories about him and carrying Portugal to the semis in '66. Cruyff, obviously. Bergkamp is just one of the most technical players to ever exist. Van Basten, injuries, cheated a lot of us out of most of his career, but an unbelievable player. And then, I mean, we're not even talking about Gerd Mueller and George Weah in the same way, but it's got to be Ronaldo.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Before the injuries got him, and really I blame it on Italian physios. If you get injured in Serie A, go anywhere but the Italian training rooms. Don't let them operate on you. Don't let them do anything. Don't let them be in charge of your rehab. But his ability, when he would receive the ball and he would turn, the only other player I've seen with that kind of acceleration was Ricky Kaká, who went from 0 to 100 in a blink of an eye, literally. And the stories about him training were hilarious. They were like, we could never get him to run. We could never get him to do anything until we scrimmaged. And the minute a goal and a goalkeeper were present, he was the fastest guy on the field. So he was sheer terror for anyone who was a Serie A fan, and especially a non-Inter fan during that time frame. He was just terrifying.
Bernd points out Romario in Holland was crazy good. I think he was with PSV, Bernd, if I remember right. Ronaldo in Holland was really good as well. When he first went over, it was nuts. I want to see how these come out. I'm fascinated to see what the lists end up turning into. I need to, at soccerdownhere.net, post the lists and have everybody kind of give us their list now that they've done all the positions. It sounds like it would be all Italians in the back and then Argentines and Brazilians for the most part, the rest of the team.
Yep.
I'm okay with this.
That's okay. I'm all right with this. And Manuel Neuer in goal. I think I'm still leaning. I don't know. Buffon or Casillas. Man, that's
Buffon.
tough. That's tough.
It's GG. For me, it's
Buffon.
GG.
It'll be Neuer later. It's not him yet. That's fair enough.
Yep.
All right, we're not going to rehash the
2006,
whole thing.
Buffon was
That's true.
Revelation.
terrifying.
Gustavo says, I watched Ronaldo and Ronaldinho live against us. Silence and respect. God, that'd be an incredible
Have
game.
you ever
Brazil and
seen
Argentina in
the-
those days. Good
The
grief.
video clip of, like, they asked people on the streets to try and hit Ronaldo's vertical from before his knee injury. How high he could get on a running jump.
You're talking about like CR7?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
just-
yeah. No, it's like NBA level.
Yeah. No, I know we were just, yeah, it just, hearing the name Ronaldo made me think of that close. I saw it earlier today, and I just wanted to bring it up because I was like, anyone ever seen that?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, this is CR7 I'm talking now. I know I'm jumping around topics, but like just the name Ronaldo reminded me today. It's just someone basically took a cutout of when he jumped for a header one time and froze it and set it up in the street and asked people to try and get that high. And yeah, it wasn't happening.
No, it was like NBA
It's
level.
terrifying.
It was. Most people didn't even jump to where his knees were. That was what was hilarious. So, and I mean, you can hate the guy all you want. His physical preparation is second to none. I mean,
It's nuts.
Yes.
We could go on all day about all these greats. We will get everybody to submit their list, though. It's been fun talking about it. This gets everybody going in the Twitch pitch as well. We almost did a 3-hour show, but not quite because we don't do 3-hour shows around here. That's not what we do. So we're done. We are
my
done.
phone starts blowing up. Where are you? What's going on?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Thanks for hanging out with us. It's always fun. Nick, send us home.
Until next time, friends, especially those wearing red and black, mucha mucha, Euro y'all.